day in Missouri history and learn more about the Show Me State by visiting MissouriNet.com today.
He wrote in his journal that day, I begin my tour where other travelers have ended theirs, on the confines of the wilderness and at the last village of white inhabitants between the Mississippi River and the Pacific Ocean. He and another man began their journey of exploration in 1818 ignorant of much of the knowledge of their survival. They didn't know how best to build a fire. They knew little about hunting. They heard about, but knew little about Indians they'd meet, and they really had no idea where they were going. The story in a minute.
Hi, I'm Bill Pollock, host of Show Me Today. We listened to you, Missouri, and brought you a daily radio show that brings you captivating stories of people, places, and topics around our state.
What was lacking in all these years before this was someone with the desire.
Now, if you miss a segment or entire show, just download our podcast.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Subscribe to Show Me Today on Apple or wherever you find your favorite podcasts and add us to your list.
Show Me Today.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for home sweet home. We're for condos, tutors, single wides, and studios. We're for ranches, houseboats, 2 stories or 20. Red cedar, bluebirds, white squirrels, black walnuts, whatever's out your back door, we're for that. We're for watching the sun rise over the Mississippi and set over the Missouri. We're for kicking off your heels in a high-rise or hanging up your hat in the boot heel. And if you have a home in Missouri, we have a policy for you. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Despite his extreme lack of knowledge or direction, Henry Rowe Schoolcraft set off into what he would later call the howling wilderness, the unexplored interior of Missouri. The last village of white inhabitants he talked about was St. Louis, and the howling wilderness is today the area that's around Springfield and Joplin. Twice in the first 4 days, their pack horses wandered off. Schoolcraft complains in his journal that it was hard to sleep at nights because of fears that wild animals might be lurking around. Those descriptions are more than a little boring today, but they constituted exciting reading in his time because they were the first detailed descriptions of what kind of land awaited potential settlers in the area of Missouri and Arkansas, spelled S-A-W. Schoolcraft was a New Yorker who'd studied the glass industry as a youth. He headed west after a business venture went sour, and he met Moses Austin at Herculaneum. He thoroughly investigated the history and work of the lead mines in the Herculaneum-Potosi area, and his book, A View of the Lead Mines of Missouri, is still a basic source book of the early techniques of lead mining and places it happened and those who were doing it. The farming class is by far the largest, he wrote, as the fertility of the soil and the advantage of procuring lands on easy terms in a mild climate afford the strongest and surest prospects of gain to the emigrant. There are probably fewer mechanics than are required by the existing population, he wrote. The wages of mechanics of all kinds are very high. A carpenter or bricklayer cannot be hired for less than $2 a day and often receives more. Later, on that trip to the wilderness, Schoolcraft would meet hunters and isolated settlers, describing the hunters as being hardy, brave, independent people, rude in appearance, frank and generous, who traveled without baggage, could subsist anywhere in the woods, and would form the most efficient military corps in frontier warfare. But Missourians of all sorts fascinated him. Hospitality to strangers, enterprise in business, ardor in the pursuit of wealth, and elevated pride of country and perseverance under the pressure of many difficulties growing out of the infancy of the settlements are the most conspicuous traits, he said. They are robust, frank, and daring. Taught by the hardships and dangers incident to the frontier settlement to depend for security and success upon their individual exertions, they rely little on extraneous help and feel that true independence flows from a conviction that their own physical exertions are equal to every call, necessity, and emergency of life. He tramped through what are now Crawford, Dent, and Texas counties, then into Wright and Douglas, where they ascended the North Fork of the White River into Arkansas. They came back into the present Taney and Stone counties up the James River, probably to near present Springfield, and headed south again. They might have reached Batesville, Arkansas, or where it is now. They walked to where West Plains now stands. Schoolcraft kept wandering, though, through what are now Shannon, Reynolds, Iron, Madison, and St. Francis counties, arriving in Potosi in February. In his journal, he would mention zinc in southwest Missouri, something not really discovered for another 50 years. He looked into the future, writing of Missouri, that it would become a seat of empire for that vast basin of land. Its situation in point of beauty, health, and convenience is rarely equaled. He died in December of 1864 in New York. Henry Rowe Schoolcraft, born on this date, the 28th of March, in the year of 1793.
That was Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. To listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State, visit MissouriNet.com.
After a failed bank robbery attempt in Northfield, Minnesota, the James gang headed west toward the Dakota Territory. Near what is today the border with South Dakota and Minnesota, the pursuers of Jesse James had him cornered. What happened next is still up for debate. The folks in this town believe they know what happened. It's today's edition of the American Countryside.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, the only weekend television show that features some of agriculture's biggest names. From custom commentary from John Phipps to the stories of antique iron with Machinery Pete to a list of more than 30 marketing analysts, our weekly program focuses on the topics that matter most to you. We invite you to join us each weekend for U.S. Farm Report, timely, trusted tradition.
Hi, I'm Ag Day host Clinton Griffiths, and I invite you to join me each morning as we cover the nation's food system, from fields of green to orchards of orange and livestock everywhere in between. America runs on agriculture, and here at Ag Day, agriculture is what we do best. Listen as our analysts track the markets, learn about innovations in technology and sustainability, and live the country lifestyle through the eyes of rural America. Join me, Clinton Griffiths, for Ag Day, the country experience.
On September 7, 1876, the Jesse James gang attempted to rob the bank at Northfield, Minnesota. They failed and headed west, being pursued by a posse of lawmen and citizenry.
They were seen south of what is now Garrettson, and the posse found them there. They decided they would split up the posse and one take one side of the river and one the other. But the posse didn't split up. They stayed after one man, and it happened to be Jesse.
Gordy Aker shares the story from Garrettson, South Dakota. The posse pursued Jesse, who was headed directly toward the 20-foot wide, 40-foot deep ravine called Devil's Gulch.
And they had him cornered, and he either had to jump the gulch or be caught. And it's a 20-foot jump, and as it looks right now, he wouldn't make it. But back with the old 100-year-old pictures, it was much more level, and it was possible.
The gulch is a mile long, and the members of the posse didn't want to risk the feat they'd just seen Jesse accomplish. It was dusk, and they quit their pursuit.
He makes a jump, and there is a cave about a mile north that he hid out in for several days and rested. And then he got a horse, and then he met up with Frank, who was hid out in the Palisades State Park area, and rode on down to Missouri.
Some say the story is merely folklore, but there's good evidence to back it up. Gordy has lived in the area all of his life, and he believes the facts support the successful leap by Jesse James.
I believe he did because I think if there was that many on the posse, that one of them would not have lied or would have wanted to make his conscience clear before he died, and nobody came forward.
Hundreds of people drive just outside of Sioux Falls every year to see the beauty of this place and decide for themselves if the gulch is truly the site of an amazing escape by the infamous Jesse James. Traveling the countryside in Garrettson, South Dakota, I'm Andrew McCrae.
Better understanding antibiotic use in food-producing animals. Hello, I'm Megan Grebner with Healthy Living on Brownfield. When a restaurant or a food company switches to a no antibiotics ever policy for food-producing animals, it can lead to some serious misconceptions. Tom Super with the National Chicken Council says one of those is that if a product doesn't come with that label, there could be antibiotic residue in the food. But, he tells Brownfield, that's simply not the case.
Whether a product is raised with the label no antibiotics ever, no antibiotics important to human medicine, conventional, there are no antibiotic residues in the actual chicken that consumers are eating. If a flock is sick or given preventative ionophores to prevent disease, there are withdrawal times that the birds have to go through, meaning they have to wait a certain time from when the antibiotic or the ionophore was given to the chickens between when they leave the farm and when they're processed to ensure that there are no antibiotic residues present in the chicken meat. And these are tested regularly, and it is heavily regulated by both the FDA and the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service.
I'm Megan Grebner with Healthy Living on Brownfield.
For more than 50 years.
As men, we think of lions. We think of strong, and decisive, and leader, and the big mane, and the powerful.
Jeff Becker and his dad Brian on today's Focus on the Family Minute.
But as men, we need to be tender. We need to be vulnerable. We need to be in touch with our emotions, and we need to be understanding and vulnerable and present. And that's so much of what we think is it's such a cool combination of
when to be one and when to be the other. And how do you show up, tender in your heart and relationships, but also this lion and competition and what we need to do.
And the lion is only the lion we think of when it's threatened or when it's hunting for its family. The rest of the time, it's like nudging their cubs and with the pride and relaxing and staying healthy.
More on having a good relationship with your kids at FamilyMinute.org.
Today is Children's Picture Book Day, Edie's Pie Day. I guess like Mrs. Smith's, it's just a brand. It's Maundy Thursday, National Black Forest Cake Day, and I can get behind that. It's National Hot Tub Day. Boy, that would feel good right now. National Something on a Stick Day. It's Piano Day, which is always observed on the 88th day of the year. It is Respect Your Cat Day. Good luck with that. And Weed Appreciation Day. And I'm not exactly sure what kind of weed they're talking about there. Coming up on 7 o'clock with the news next. This is KTUI 1560 AM Sullivan. You can pick up the morning show on YouTube and on TuneIn. We'll have local news coming up, funeral announcements, sports, some more. It's 7 o'clock. Time now for news from USA.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. The cargo ship that caused the Baltimore bridge collapse was reportedly carrying hazardous materials. Dave Collins with more.
On Wednesday, the head of the National Transportation Safety Board said the ship was hauling nearly 60 containers filled with hazardous materials, including corrosives and flammables, and that some of the containers were breached, creating a sheen on the water. She said a full investigation into the matter could take 1 to 2 years.
The White House is announcing the rescheduling of a critical meeting with Israeli officials in Washington. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has consented to proceed with discussions about a potential military operation in southern Gaza. Earlier this week, Israel had called off the delegation after the U.S. backed a UN Security Council resolution urging an immediate ceasefire. This, as new public polling from Gallup finds a 55% majority of Americans now disapprove of Israel's war against Hamas. The NCAA planning to urge states to prohibit prop betting on college athletes. USA's John Schaefer.
The NCAA stated that it will actively lobby state gambling boards to restrict proposition betting on individual student athletes. Prop betting entails gambling on specific player statistics such as points scored or turnovers committed. NCAA officials emphasize that this initiative aims to deter potential cheating and protect young players from harassment.
The State Department offering a big reward after a ransomware group hacked into United Healthcare. It happened back in February. The group managed to hack into a subsidiary that manages payment systems for most of the country's hospitals. This week, the State Department said they're offering a $10 million reward for information that would lead to the identification or location of those involved in the cyber attack. This is USA News.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
A Texas law granting police the authority to detain individuals suspected of unlawfully crossing the southern border remains suspended. The 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans has affirmed a prior ruling that deemed SB 4 unconstitutional. Texas public safety officials have said the law would only allow officers to arrest those they see crossing the Rio Grande. Inflation and price hikes continue to weigh heavily on businesses, with one discount chain also announcing a new price price increase. USA's Laura Winters.
You're going to have to dig deeper when you go to Dollar Tree. It's becoming $1.50 Tree, raising its prices again. The discount store revealing in an earnings call that its price point will now start at $1.50, up from $1.25, with some items selling for $5 to $7 in a special aisle.
Donald Trump is extending a warm reception to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s entrance into the presidential race. Through a post on Truth Social, Trump labeled Kennedy as the most, quote, radical left contender in the field. Additionally, Trump said he believes RFK Jr.'s candidacy will draw votes away from President Biden. In a gesture of reconciliation in Florida, the governor and Mickey Mouse are declaring a ceasefire. Disney and a committee led by Governor Ron DeSantis have reached a settlement with the goal of resolving all litigation between them. I'm Ryan Daniels, USA News.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
You deserve extraordinary care close to home. From primary care to advanced specialties right here in Sullivan. And access to all that BJC Healthcare has to offer. We're here to provide the care you need. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital and BJC Healthcare. Care that is comprehensive, coordinated, and completely about you. Learn more at MissouriBaptistSullivan.org.
Missouri Net News, I'm Marshall Griffin. Over 300 people will soon be without a job after the Missouri Central School Bus Company chose to terminate its contract with St. Louis schools. In addition to job shortages, a black mechanic found a noose at his workstation, which led many of the district's bus drivers to stop working. Despite the contract running through the 2024-25 school year, the company opted out a year early. Service is scheduled to end June 30th. A Poplar Bluff lab agrees to a multi-million-dollar settlement in a federal Medicare fraud case. Ashley Bird has details.
Gamma Healthcare Incorporated in Poplar Bluff and 3 of its owners have agreed to pay a $13.6 million settlement over alleged false claims to Medicare for lab tests not ordered by healthcare providers. The company and its owners are also excluded from participating in federal healthcare programs for the next 15 years. The payment settles the case of whistleblower claims that the company performed labs over and above what was called for by physicians who said they were expensive and not medically necessary. The Department of Justice investigated the case under the False Claim Act. The settlement does not mean the company is liable, but the whistleblower doctor will get more than $2.3 million of that settlement. Ashley Bird, Missouri Net.
The new director of the Missouri State Fair admits it's disappointing that this year's event won't have a rodeo, motocross, tractor pulls, or demolition derbies normally held at the State Fair Arena. The 10-acre open-air field with metal bleachers needs an upgrade, which is coming in the form of a modern indoor climate-controlled arena that will seat about 6,000 people. Director Jason Moore says the timetable for building the new arena meant sacrificing rodeo and motocross events for this year.
We did reach out to those people early on. They were certainly our first contact to kind of let them know. I think, as a whole, everybody, they understand. One of the biggest issues that they struggle getting people to their events. Obviously, we're in the middle of August, and some days it can be extremely hot over there.
The new building is expected to be open in time for the 2026 Missouri State Fair. This is Missouri Net.
Childhood should be the happiest time of life. But for many children living in poverty with blindness, facial deformities, and other crippling conditions, it's riddled with pain, rejection, shame, and isolation. At Mercy Ships, we're answering the cries of some of the world's most forgotten children and adults through free, life-changing surgeries that turn despair into hope. These once heartbroken boys and girls, and many men and women too, are now restored, accepted, and on their way to new lives full of opportunity and joy. No one can change the world on their own, but with God's help, we can transform it by restoring hope to one person, one child at a time. Volunteers from your community and around the globe, or joining Mercy Ships to bring life-changing healing and hope to the forgotten poor. To learn how you too can help change the world one child at a time, go to mercyships.org today.
State House passes a sizable utility bill. Anthony Morbith reports.
The Missouri Senate is considering a wide-ranging bill from Representative Michael O'Donnell that is aimed at reducing utility costs. The St. Louis County Republicans' legislation has several provisions, including addressing solar panels for tax purposes, sales tax exemptions for utilities, standards for renewable energy, and more. O'Donnell says his bill makes sure that utility services remain affordable and accessible for residents across the state. From the state capitol, Anthony Morbith, Missouri Net.
The Missouri Senate is considering a wide-ranging House bill aimed at reducing utility costs. The measure has several provisions, including addressing solar panels for tax purposes, sales tax exemptions for utilities, standards for renewable energy, and more. The sponsor, State Rep. Michael O'Donnell of St. Louis County, says his bill makes sure that utility services remain affordable and accessible for residents across the state. And Missouri has revoked 9 micro-business cannabis licenses for not being eligible. This is Missouri Net.
New Testament Baptist Church in Sullivan is starting a new addiction recovery ministry called Life Issues. It's a biblical approach to the 12 steps, bringing scriptural principles into personal focus and making them come alive for transformational living. Whether you struggle with addictions, food, depression, anxiety, or relationships, you'll be encouraged to see how others have found a new way of life with hope for the future through this program. Life Issues will meet weekly on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. at New Testament Baptist Church. You're not alone. To find out more, contact New Testament Baptist Church at 573-468-3334.
We all want to be the best version of ourselves, and Compass Health Network is your preferred provider for all things related to your health and well-being. From primary care and mental health services to pediatric and adult dental procedures, our professional and compassionate staff is here for you. Call us today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org to find a location in your area. Compass Health Network is here to help you reach your healthcare goals.
Looking at our local news on this Thursday from the Sullivan Bank studios of KTUI Radio, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reported a fatality accident at 6:18 a.m. yesterday in Franklin County on I-44 eastbound at mile marker 227 east of Sullivan. A 2016 Kenworth conventional tractor-trailer unit driven by 28-year-old Manpreet Singh of Elmont, New York, traveling west on I-44, went through the cable median barrier into the eastbound lanes into the path of a 2017 Chevrolet Traverse driven by 59-year-old Edith L. McKee of Sullivan. The Traverse hit the right side of the tractor-trailer. Both vehicles went off the right side of the roadway and caught fire. 59-year-old Edith L. McKee of Sullivan was pronounced by EMS personnel on scene at 6:37. The driver of the tractor-trailer, 28-year-old Manpreet Singh of New York, was taken by Missouri Baptist Ambulance to Missouri Baptist Hospital Sullivan for treatment of minor injuries. There was another fatality accident at 7:29 a.m. Wednesday in Jasper County on Highway 96, 2 miles east of Avila. A 1999 International tanker truck driven by 70-year-old David K. Wyckoff of Everton, Missouri, was slowing down to make a right turn from Highway 96 onto a county road. A 2013 Ford F-350 truck driven by 69-year-old Robert W. Rathman of Mount Vernon, Missouri, failed to slow and struck the rear of the tanker unit. 69-year-old Robert W. Hathman of Mount Vernon was pronounced at the scene by Deputy Jasper County Coroner. The driver of the tanker truck, David K. Wyckoff of Mount Vernon, suffered minor injuries. He was taken to Mercy Hospital in Joplin for treatment. Another fatality accident occurred at 7:50 yesterday morning in Wright County on Highway AM, a quarter mile east of Mountain Grove. A 2014 Peterbilt tractor-trailer was stopped in the roadway while the operator was working on the vehicle. A 2020 Nissan Pathfinder driven by 29-year-old Jamie L. Holloway of Mountain Grove, Missouri, struck the trailer unit in the rear. Jamie L. Holloway, 29-year-old female from Mountain Grove, was pronounced at the scene by the Wright County coroner. A passenger in her vehicle, a 4-year-old male juvenile from Mountain Grove, suffered minor injuries. He was taken by Mercy Ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Springfield for treatment. Jamie Holloway was not wearing her seatbelt. The Highway Patrol reported an arrest at 3:37 p.m. yesterday. 31-year-old female from Licking, Peyton N. Mortis, was arrested by the Highway Patrol on a Missouri Parole Board parole absconder warrant. She was taken to the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility and held without bond. The Crawford County Coroner's Office is seeking to find next of kin for 61-year-old Sandra S. Hartzell. She had lived in Maryland, now living in Missouri. If anyone knows Miss Hartzell or know where they might be able to contact her next of kin, please contact the Crawford County Coroner's Office at 573-775-4250. East Central College wrapping up their public forums, offering residents an opportunity to stay informed and ask questions about Proposition ECC that will be on the ballot April 2nd. These forums will delve into the details of the tax levy transfer and its benefits for both the communities and the college. There will be a forum tonight from 5:30 until 6:30 p.m. at the Sullivan branch of the Scenic Regional Library. The public is invited. The levy transfer is expected to generate $2.2 million annually for the college. Bourbon schools holding their annual preschool and kindergarten registration. Today's the final day for that. If you live in the Bourbon District, have a child ages 3 to 5 who might be eligible to attend either preschool or kindergarten, please call Tracy Rushing at 573-732-3293 to schedule an appointment today. All children new to the district that are eligible for preschool and kindergarten must participate in this screening process. Kindergarten registration going on in Sullivan. If you have a child that will be 5 years of age by July 31st, you need to come to the Sullivan Primary School on April 4th. They'll be doing registration from 7:30 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. that day. They will need your child's shot record and birth certificate, and from the parents, they'll need a copy of a driver's license and proof of residency, such as an electric bill or rental agreement. If you have any questions about kindergarten registration in Sullivan, call the primary school office, 573-468-5171, option 4. MoDOT has scheduled some road work for Highway 28 in the Owensville area. Capital Paving is scheduled to start work today with milling transitions, and when that is done around April 1st, they will start the asphalt paving work. Work will be done at night by crews with no daytime closures. Please use caution while driving through those work zones over the next several days. Franklin County Government Center, county administrative offices, historic courthouse, health department, and highway department will be closed on Friday in observance of Good Friday. Sheriff's Department will remain open as they are 24 hours every day. And you're invited to bring the kids out for the second annual Chief Mason Griffith Easter Parade, sponsored by the Rosebud Community Park Association and the Rosebud Police Department. It'll be held Friday starting at 5:30. Bring your Easter baskets and load up on candy. The candy cannon will start at 6:30. You're invited to bring your group's decorated vehicles, floats, UTVs, first responder vehicles, etc. to join in the fun. And for those that are entering floats in the parade, bring your own candy to throw. Please, no plastic eggs. Parade lineup will be starting at 4:30 at the Rosebud RV Park, facing Rosebud Avenue. Parade will start promptly at 5:30. The famous Park Fish Fry be going on in the community park there from 4 until 7 p.m., and they are accepting donations for the event. No excuse absentee voting for the April 2nd election is now underway. The Missouri legislature approved a law in 2022 that allows for voters to cast an early ballot without needing an excuse. No excuse absentee voting will be allowed in Franklin County weekdays from 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. and then again from 8 a.m. till 12 noon this Saturday. Voting must be done at the county clerk's office. In Crawford County, no excuse voting must be done at the Crawford County Courthouse. Washington County voters must cast their ballot at the Washington County Courthouse in Potosi. Hours are 8 to 4:30. That's your look at local news on this Thursday from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D.
We know you have lawns to mow, work sites to build, fields to manage, and jobs to finish. With over 100 years of experience, Seidenstricker Nobe will be with you every step of the way. Our customers are the center of everything we do. Find affordable pricing, low monthly payments, and easy financing options on all our John Deere equipment. With 27 locations to serve you, Seidenstricker Nobe Partners is your source for everything John Deere. snpartners.com.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Donnie Greenwald, your Sullivan Edward Jones financial advisor at number 10 First Community Plaza in Sullivan. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In recent funeral announcements, Julia Salzman, a book out of Sullivan, passed away Saturday, March 23rd at her home at the age of 83. Funeral services will be conducted at 10 o'clock this morning at the Temple Baptist Church in Sullivan. Interment will follow at the Crow Cemetery in Sullivan. All arrangements for Julia Saltzman under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. W.J. Bill Benthal of Bourbon passed away Friday, March 22nd at the age of 92. Funeral services will be conducted at 12 noon today at the Calvary Baptist Church in Bourbon. Interment will be in the Memorial Park Cemetery in St. Louis. Visitation will be held from 10 a.m. till services at noon today at the Calvary Baptist Church in Bourbon. All arrangements for Bill Benthal are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Danny R. Jones of Sullivan passed away on Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 67. Funeral services will be at 6 o'clock tonight at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. There will be a visitation from 4 until 6 p.m. tonight at the Eaton Funeral Home. Memorial contributions may be made to VFW Post 3987 in memory of Danny R. Jones. Frances Ann Bell passed away on Sunday, March 24th at the age of 84. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. Friday at the Concordia Lutheran Church in Bourbon. Interment will follow at Bourbon Cemetery. Cremation has taken place. There will be a visitation from 9:30 a.m. until services at 11 at the church. All arrangements for Frances Bell are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Sharon Lee Bender, née Skelton of St. Clair, passed away Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 80. Funeral services will be held at 1 p.m. Friday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, burial at the Crestview Memorial Park in St. Clair. Visitation will be held from 10 a.m. until services at 1 p.m. Friday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair for Sharon Bender. Benjamin Adam Bach of Union passed away Monday, March 25th at the age of 37. Funeral services will be held on Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Godstrader Chapel in Owensville with burial at Countryside Memorial Gardens. Visitation for Benjamin Adam Bach will be held Friday from 4 until 8 p.m. at the Godstrader Chapel in Owensville. Peggy J. Bryant of Bourbon passed away on Sunday, March 24th at the age of 64. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. Saturday at the Oak Hill Free Will Baptist Church of Union. Interment will follow at Smith Cemetery, Nigger Springs. Visitation will be held from 9 a.m. until services at 11 a.m. Saturday at the Oak Hill Free Will Baptist Church of Union. Memorial contributions may be made to the American Breast Cancer Society or St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in memory of Peggy Bryant. All arrangements under the care and direction of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Ransom Wright Randy Dudley Sr. passed away on Wednesday, March 20th at the age of 86. A celebration of life service will be planned for a later date. Cremation has taken place. In lieu of flowers, the family wishes for people to hug those they love. All arrangements for Randy Dudley Sr. are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Rita Ethel Monteleone of Rolla passed away on Sunday, March 17th at the age of 80. The family has chosen cremation as her final disposition. There will be no services held at this time. All arrangements for Rita Monteleone under the care of the Hudson Funeral Home of Cuba. Ralph Willard Dulaney of Cuba passed away Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 85. The family has chosen cremation as his final disposition. No services are scheduled at this time. All arrangements for Ralph Willard Dulaney are under the direction of the Hudson Funeral Home of Cuba. The completed funeral announcements with all the survivors will air during our expanded edition of KTUI News at 8 o'clock this morning.
Do you have a guy? Like your dad or grandpa had a guy. Something broke around the house you couldn't fix, Gramps would say, call my guy. He probably drove an old blue pickup, big tool chest in the back, decades of calluses on strong hands, name on his shirt like Don or Ed or Buddy. He just always seemed to know the best way to fix any problem. That's why Grandpa trusted him. There's not many of those guys around today, and no wonder. Between taxes and technology, insurance and licensing, it's hard to be that guy and be competitive. Well, that's why this company started. We love what we do, and we still want to be that guy. Independent technicians, generations of combined experience, all joined together as one powerful team. Strength in numbers, you know? If you're ever stuck with a broken furnace or air conditioner, now you've got a guy.
We're Level 9 Heating and Cooling.
Level9HVAC.com.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center, for this morning, a clear sky. It's going to be sunny today with a high of 64. Partly cloudy tonight, low 44. Friday, sunshine, high 72. Partly cloudy Friday night, low 54. Saturday, mixed clouds and sun, high 74. Cloud, sun, isolated shower and thunderstorm for Sunday, the high 78. Monday, clouds, a few showers and maybe a thunderstorm, high 78. For KTUI, I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
Thank you very much, Jim. We are at 34 degrees now at the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio, 33 at the Sullivan Regional Airport. Happy birthday today to Ron Pilkington, who turns 60 today. Janet Counts West has a birthday. Sam's nephew, Chet Dawson, is Jared's son, is 8 today. Dr. Jim Cuneo has a birthday, along with Amy Garner, Kristen Frigo, Rick Pullman, and Brian Payne is 19 today, so happy birthday to all those folks. Chris and Ginger Blanton having their 26th anniversary today. Keisha Philpott is scheduled to be in at 7:30 this morning. And we'll have Dan Zarlinga from the Missouri Department of Conservation on Zoom after the news around 8:30. And then we have a recorded interview with Maggie Cimaroli from the St. Louis District Dairy Council. She was not going to be available today, so Sam recorded an interview with her last week, and we'll have that on after the For Sale show at about 9:10 this morning. Again, right now, 34 with clear skies and sunshine at 25 past the hour of 7 o'clock at the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio, and we'll have sports right after this from Sullivan Bank.
Earn 5.51 annual percentage yield on a 7-month CD at Sullivan Bank. Use our CD calculator on sullivanbank.com and see how much you could earn. Experience great rates and a step up in service. We are waiting to greet you with a smile. Annual percentage yield of 5.51 APY is accurate as of December 26, 2023. $1,000 minimum balance required to earn stated APY. Penalty may be imposed for early withdrawal, which will reduce earnings on the account. Interest compounded and credited quarterly. Rate subject to change at any time. Available at all locations.
The Cardinals begin the 2024 regular season today out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Here's Matt Pauley from the Cardinals Radio Network to set the stage.
After a long offseason, the day that St. Louis Cardinals fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. The Cardinals open up the 2024 campaign this afternoon. They are in Los Angeles to start a 4-game series against the Dodgers. Yesterday, the Cardinals announced their opening day roster. It does include prospect Victor Scott II. He is going to be the opening day center fielder. They have to make room on the 40-man roster for Scott to get onto the 26-man roster, and they do that by placing first baseman Jared Young on outright waivers, so he is no longer on the 40-man roster. Also, infielder Jose Fermin has been optioned to Memphis. Miles Michaelis is going to make the start today for the Cardinals. He is set to be opposed by Tyler Glasnow, with Sonny Gray opening up the season on the injured list. Michaelis is going to be joined by Zach Thompson, Lance Lynn, Steven Matz, and Kyle Gibson in the starting rotation. This afternoon's game is scheduled to begin at 3:10. That means coverage begins at 2:15. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Thank you very much, Matt. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:15 today on 102.1 KTUI FM. Blues forward Oscar Sundqvist will miss the rest of the season after suffering a torn ACL in his right knee in Monday's game against the Vegas Golden Knights. He was helped off the ice by his teammates and Blues trainer and did not return to the game after taking a hit in the corner in the offensive zone in the second period. It was determined that Sundqvist will require surgery and will be reevaluated in 6 months. The Blues will host Calgary tonight, needing to finish the season on a hot streak, as they are currently 5 points behind Las Vegas for the second wild card berth in the Western Conference. Pre-game tonight at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10. That'll be on KTUI 1560 AM. After an extensive national search, Missouri State University has selected Conzo Martin as its next men's head basketball coach. The man who orchestrated Missouri State's only Missouri Valley Conference regular season championship run during his first tenure in Springfield will be formally reintroduced to the Bears fans during a 1 p.m. news conference on Monday. It is a 5-year contract with a value of $600,000 a year plus incentives. College of the Ozarks baseball team split a doubleheader at Ecclesia College yesterday, winning 13-4 and losing 6-4. Westminster College baseball took both games of a home doubleheader with Principia, a 13-9 victory in Game 1, a 19-9 rout in Game 2. Aiden Pekka from Washington 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBI in Game 1 for Westminster. He went 1 for 2 with 2 more runs and 2 RBI in the second game. Gavin Matchell from Washington was 3 for 8 with a run and 2 RBI on the day for Principia. In college softball, the Evangel Valor softball team hosted Friends University for a doubleheader on Wednesday evening, splitting a pair of 1-run games. Friends got the win in Game 1, 3-2 in 8 innings. The Valor came up with a walk-off 4-3 win in Game 2. Naomi Perkins from Steelville 1 for 4 with 2 walks on the day for Evangel. And the Jefferson College Vikings softball team grabbed both games at home against State Fair Community College on Wednesday, 7-0 and 7-2. Looking at the college sports schedule, in baseball, Missouri will start a series at Vanderbilt at 6 o'clock tonight. Missouri State at Newman University at 3. ECC Falcon baseball at North Central Missouri College in Trenton for a doubleheader starting at noon today. Also at noon, Mineral Area will be at Metropolitan Community College in Kansas City for Twin Bill. Emporia State at Central Oklahoma at 6 o'clock tonight. Missouri S&T opens up a series at Illinois Springfield at 1 o'clock today. St. Charles Community College at Crowder College at 6, and UMSL at Maryville at 2 o'clock. In softball, Missouri is out east at George Mason at 3 o'clock. The East Central softball team will be at MSU West Plains for a doubleheader at 2. Mineral Area at Jefferson College for a doubleheader at 2. Oklahoma at Kansas, big series there, 5 o'clock start time tonight. St. Charles Community College at Moberly Area Community College for a doubleheader at 2. And the college track schedule, the Joey Haynes Invitational down at SEMO today and tomorrow. Maryville, Mineral Area, University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy, some of the teams will be participating. St. Louis University splitting up their squad, a part of them going to the Raleigh Relays and some to the Texas Relays. Truman State athletes will be at the Dutch Invitational at Central College, Iowa, and Washburn at the Emporia State Relays today and tomorrow. We send along our congratulations to Sullivan senior Adam Perigo, as he has signed a letter of intent to continue his wrestling career at Westminster College next season. The 2023-24 Central Missouri Media All-District basketball teams were released. Local athletes, Class 4 first team, Chase Crosby, a freshman from Owensville, Tate Groover, sophomore from St. James, and Preston Heads, a junior from Cuba. Boys Class 4 second team, Jesse Elrod, a junior from Cuba, Lane Evans, a senior from Owensville. Class 4 girls first team, Kendall Kostopoulos and Emily Recker, seniors from St. James. Allie Daniels, a junior from Owensville, Emma Daniels, senior from Owensville, and Tyra Hafer, a senior from Cuba. Class 4 girls second team selections, Cam Caldwell, a junior from Owensville, Courtney Karen, a junior from Cuba, Lydia Kimnitzer, junior from St. James, Morgan Pilkington, senior from Cuba. John Van Leer of Owensville was named the Coach of the Year. Class 3 boys first team, Nolan Bruni, a senior from Herman, Carson Mullen, senior from Steelville, and Baylor Smith, a senior from Bell. Second team selections, Braden Cadwallader, a senior from Bell, Dayton Hopkins, a junior from Herman. Class 3 girls first team, Ava Hughes, junior from Herman, Abby Kreidner, senior from Steelville, Aniston Lansford, a sophomore from Bell. Second team picks, Bevan Bouse, a junior from Bourbon, Nevaeh Kinsey, a senior from Bell, Marley Perkins, a senior from Steelville, Kennedy Whithouse, a junior from Herman. In the local scoreboard from last night, it was Sullivan picking up a come-from-behind 10-7 win at Steelville. Eagles were down 7-3 at one point, tied it up in the fifth inning, a 3-run home run from Cam Koch. They scored 3 in the sixth, take a lead, and won it by a score of 10-7. Didn't get a score on the JV game down there yesterday. Borgia over Pacific 4-1 in a big matchup yesterday. Borgia took the JV contest 12-0. Hillsborough got by St. Clair 7-5 in varsity, 6-0 in JV. Bourbon played Kingston up at the Grizzlies ballpark in Sauget, Illinois, and came out on top last night 8-7. It was Herman taking both games from Vanfar, 11-5 in varsity, 11-1 in JV. Lynn beat New Haven 16-1. It was Borgia freshman over Owensville 10-7, and Liberty freshman down Washington 6-0. Girls soccer, St. Pius X of Festus shut out Borgia 3-0 in varsity. They won the JV game as well 3-1. Koryezu over Washington 5-4 in penalty kicks in that Lindbergh JV tournament. Didn't get a score on Crocker at Owensville. Spring softball, Steelville with a big win over Salem last night, 13-3 in varsity play. Looking at the schedule of games for today, Sullivan baseball team has picked up a game at Eldon today. Varsity then JV starting at 4:30. We will not be able to broadcast that game today. Elsewhere, Bell will be at Dixon. That's a 3 o'clock start. Borgia at Lutheran St. Charles, varsity only at 4:30. Lutheran St. Charles at Borgia for JV at 4:15. Silex at Herman, 4:30. Waynesville at Owensville, freshman game at 4:30. Washington at Francis Howell for JV at 4:15. St. Charles West at Washington for a freshman game at Dutz Southfield at 4:30. And Wellsville at New Haven, and that's a 4:30 start today. Girls soccer on the schedule. North County will be at Sullivan, varsity then JV at 5. Borgia at O'Fallon Christian, varsity only at 6. Dixon at Owensville, varsity only at 5. Pacific at Valley Park for a varsity-only matchup at 5 o'clock, and Washington at Liberty, JV then varsity at 5 o'clock. Spring softball today, Bourbon has added a home game. They'll take on Conway today, and that'll get underway at 4:30. High school track today, Bell, Cuba, Herman, St. James, and Steelville all running at the Lynn Invitational. Gets underway at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Bourbon will be hosting a middle school invitational meet today. Bland, Cuba, Owensville, St. Clair, Steelville, some of the middle school teams running at Bourbon. That starts at 3:30 this afternoon. Our sports on the air today, we have Cardinals baseball, season opener out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Pregame starts at 2:15, first pitch at 3:20. You'll hear it on 102.1 KTUI FM. Blues hockey tonight at home against Calgary. Pregame at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10 on 1560 AM and on the TuneIn app at KTUI-AM. That's your look at sports from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio on this Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D. All right, we have 35 degrees. Sunny skies at the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. And let me see here. There we go. Get that adjusted. Trying to get... Come on, kick in over there. There we go. And... Nope, you got that delay. Yeah. Nope, missed it. Okay, now we're getting there. All right, turn it the other way. Well, anyway, Keisha Philpott's over there.
I am.
You can see her, and I'm trying to get...
No, don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Sam in here.
Yeah, that's all right.
But make sure I'm trying
They've
to
seen me before.
Okay, well, they've seen all of us before, but let me see if I can do... Where's the picture-in-picture?
Yeah, I think it's up on the screen there. You guys talk. Let me do that.
Okay, well, anyway, Keisha Philpott's filling in. Sam's wants to say hi, but we're putting him to work. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's on the little thing over there. All right. So anyway, I do have something I want to pass along before we get started on all of our other stuff. There's been a little bit of a change. We had Jerry Thurman in talking about the Gospel Hootenanny. They have one scheduled coming up April the 5th. There has been a bit of a change to that due to some unforeseen circumstances. The Hootenanny for Nancy Pollard for the 5th, there have been some changes to that. It's been canceled. They will still have the concert. It'll be at the House of Hope Church there in the old Radio Shack building in Sullivan on North Clark at 7 o'clock. They will take a love offering, and it will be donated to the House of Hope and the Carl Duff Ministries to help people in need. So they're still going to have it. Come pack the house, and they'll raise the money raised instead of going to an individual or family. Will go to the ministries there at House of Hope and Carl Duff Ministries to help those in need. So we'll just get that. All right. Well, there we go. Sam's got taken care of.
Just wanted to say hi to everybody. What was it? Friday a week ago, I had a stroke. It was, if anybody wants to look it up, it was a pontine stroke. It was a brainstem stroke. My wife got me to the emergency room, who sent me into Big Mobap, and the emergency room here gave me a clot buster drug, and I think that's probably why I'm doing as well as I am. My left side, was affected. I got weakness, but I'm walking and talking. My hands, my legs doing all right. My hand, when I was there, it was just hanging, and the therapist, a big Mobap, they got me to where I can actually grip stuff. I can open a soda bottle and stuff like that. It's just you'd be surprised how much you depend on your hand. I'm right-handed, but you'd be surprised how much you depend on your buttoning your pants and stuff. I still can't do that. Of course, I don't have any hips, so I button my pants and then pull them up. So, anyway.
Whatever you got to do, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to thank there must have been thousands of people praying, and the clotbuster drug, the therapists, and the people praying for me. I had people, clergy from churches I don't attend, show up out there, and I had one call me. He's on the weekends from the St. Clair Southern Baptist Church. He called and we talked a long time, and he had his church praying, and so I appreciate all of that. And so right now, still got a little bit of speech impediment, and it makes me tired. So that's all I'm going to say. But thank you.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
It was a great surprise this morning. So.
Yeah, all right. Keisha Philpott again. We have, you got a couple of things you want to talk about regarding stuff going on with the city.
Yes.
Of course, you are one of the older persons, however you want to phrase that. So what's going on?
Well, we are, conducting that Parks and Rec master plan and getting information on what we want to see done with the tax money that goes into the Parks and Rec fund. So we are going to be conducting a public input meeting on Monday, April 8th. At 6:30 to 7:30 at the community center here in Sullivan. We want all the public's input. So if you have ideas that you would like to see done with this money on how we can improve our Parks and Rec, then you should come to this meeting. We've been talking to different individuals that are part of organizations like the sports leagues and stuff like that. So we've already got their input, but we want the public's input. And we want to know what you guys want to see done. So that will be, like I said, Monday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. at the Sullivan Community Center. So.
All right. And we encourage people to get out. Tell them what you want.
Exactly.
I can imagine if it's like, we have that issue in St. James, people, we want to see this, and we'd like you to do that. We want this program, and, this would be great for the kids, and now's your chance.
Exactly.
There's now a new influx of money into the Parks Department, and they're looking, as far as not just programming, but facility improvements and things like that, facility additions, nothing else, think big. If you're doing a master plan, you can do a short range.
Yep.
This is what we can do kind of in the immediate with what money we have and what's coming in over the next couple of years. Then we can, this will allow us to put some money back, and 5-10 years down the road, we can maybe do this. But they need to know what people want and feel like the community needs. So.
In addition to the public input meeting, they will be consulting the team and conducting an online survey as well.
Oh, okay.
So I think that will be another way of getting your input in.
Right.
If not, you can always talk to your alderman.
Yes.
You can always call and talk to the city hall. If there's a way that you want to get your voice heard, let it be done.
Yeah, there are avenues available for you to get your opinions out there and let people know what you want, what you would like to see, what you think is going to be best for whoever, and so get it done, get it out there.
Absolutely.
Let them know.
And then, of course, don't forget to go vote next week.
Yeah, well, there's some local one or two local races. I think.
Yes.
I don't think there's schools, and we got the ECC issue, and several schools. Owensville's got a thing on, I think, and New Haven's got a issue for the school. There's school board races and all the surrounding communities, and some aldermanic and mayor races, and. There may not be a lot of contested races, although, I kind of wish they were all just because.
Yeah.
But if you've got a contested race, make sure you get out there. Because a lot of times these spring municipal ones, there's just sometimes not a great turnout.
They're never a big turnout. But, that's like I said, the last time I was here, that is your right. You need to go and use it and let your voice be heard. Yeah. And that's a great way to do it.
Well, my dad always said that, and I hear this from a lot of people that from the generation older than me, the greatest generation, because a lot of them fought and died or had family members for the privileges and rights that we enjoy today, and there's a lot of factors that are kind of restricting those and taking them away, and so folks need to step up and let their voice be heard. And they always said, if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Exactly.
Now that doesn't stop anybody.
I know, right?
They still do, but I think you have more skin in the game, so to speak. If you say, well, hey, I got out there and I voted for this person, or I voted against this, or I voted for that, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to sit here and advocate one way or another.
Yeah.
You research the candidates, research the issue, be informed, know what you're voting on, know who you're voting for, go out and cast your vote, and then again, as it has for over 200 and some odd years, the majority will decide, and then you take it from there. My dad always told me, he said, look, you may not like the result, and but you voted, and you have to live with it. Doesn't mean you can't gripe about it from time to time, but hey, you got out there and you voted, and you did your part. So,
well, and I always think of it, especially as a woman. Women weren't allowed to vote, and they fought for that right. So I am, of course, going to get out and do that as much as I can.
Okay, now if you're like me and you like food, okay, and you like going to Cardinal ball games,
oh yeah,
and for those who may be going to Busch Stadium this year for a Cardinal home game, they've made a few changes at Busch Stadium, trying to kind of keep up with the times or whatever, I guess. The old center field area, they've made some changes out there. The center field pavilion has been turned into an arcade with video games, skee ball, and a fast pitch simulator where your kids can show off their skills. So for those who like to go to a game but are not real interested in watching it, there's stuff to do. Or you can go beforehand.
I was going to say, what would be the point of that if you're going to watch the game?
You can go up beforehand and get there early and
that's true.
Kill a little time. Whether you sit in your seats for 9 innings or maybe 3 innings at a time, you have a chance to come in and have some other things to do. Go play, come back to your seats. Now, if you need more than just cotton candy on demand, you can head up to the new Freddy's Frozen Custard.
Ooh.
They're starting to put a lot more of these chain places
I've
to
noticed
eat.
that.
Anyway, you can get ice cream nachos.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm just like, those 3 words just got my attention big time. And they've got something new. It's called a Slinger Dog.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Okay, now this intrigues me. Okay.
Have you ever had a Slinger?
I've never had a Slinger Dog.
Oh.
It's a nice big bakery fresh bun with a 1/3 pound beef hot dog on a bed of hash browns, topped with taco meat and 2 fried eggs.
Yes.
Okay, now that's a heart attack on a plate.
Pretty much.
But man, what a way to go.
Yeah. Now, I've had some Slingers with like chili instead of the taco meat.
Yeah. I could go for either one.
Yeah.
I could go for either one.
Yeah.
Probably prefer chili, but I could go either way. And, of course, if burgers and brats aren't your style, you can head over to the new Farm Truck location, where Chef Samantha Mitchell has put her own spin on St. Louis barbecue with a Reuben and pork belly confit.
Ooh.
Okay. She said they are making the pork belly and the bacon in-house. They cure it themselves, smoke it, and then submerge it in duck fat, and then cook it until it's fork tender.
Wow.
In left field, the bow tie bar out in the left field corner has been replaced with a new 703 Club. And that's an all-inclusive area celebrating Albert Pujols with wood-fired pizzas, fresh pasta, and a full-service bar.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Of course, there's several other all-inclusive offerings. And really, when you get to thinking about it, for a lot of games, that all-inclusive seats, there are games you can get, and it maybe not some of these more upscale places like this, but just a lot of the upscale and the club level, and then those all-inclusive. I mean, you've got hot dogs and bratwurst and nachos and popcorn and peanuts and soda and beer and whatever. It's all you can eat all game long, pretty much.
It's worth it.
And you got seats out there, and and everything, and like most of them are $65, maybe a little bit more on certain games, just for the tickets. But I'm seriously thinking about that. It's
we did an all-inclusive at the Blues game, a preseason show, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
the food was amazing.
Yeah,
it was totally worth it.
Yeah, I'm big on all-inclusive.
Yes,
but anyway, if that's not in your budget, they will. And I don't know if all teams do this. I think the Cardinals really try and do a lot of lower-priced ticket special things.
Yeah,
I know they've got one now. It's a $7 thing. Sports is kind of long in today, so I didn't include it, but it's for the games against the Phillies. It's they do it in conjunction with some other businesses or nonprofits or whatever. You can get there's a bunch of seats. Most of those are upper levels. That's true, but you can get them for like $7. You can also get certain box seat tickets for $17. And you can get $5 tickets pretty much every game.
That's a pretty good deal.
And again, you're going to be up in the air a little ways, but hey, you're at a game and it's $5. So
and there's not a bad seat in that stadium.
It's so anyway. That's the home opener will be April 4th against the Miami Marlins. Season opener is this afternoon against the LA Dodgers, and we'll have that on 102.1 FM. So there you go. If you're thinking about going to a Cardinal game, maybe that will entice you further. I do. I'm gonna have to check out one of those slinger dogs.
Oh, yes. I saw a picture of it on Facebook this morning.
Really kind of got me.
That hot dog goes over the bun.
Oh yeah, it's
huge.
Yeah, if you've been and got their jumbo dogs, it's a 1/3 pound, and I just those they cook them on those flat tops and roll. Man, that's the next best thing to real grilling. So. A study has found that overweight middle-aged adults tend to score more poorly on tests of memory, attention, and learning ability than their thinner peers. Now, I was rather saddened when I read that because I fit that category. But, of course, it's because they're too busy thinking about the free snacks they get for completing the test. Maybe not. I don't know. We're back in Germany today for our Wacky But True. Police in a German town stopped a nude man who was taking a stroll with two dogs. Okay. He was given a blanket and told to go home and put on some clothes. I wonder if they got the blanket back.
I know.
I don't know. But, just out walking his dog and nothing on. That's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
I would think. I don't know. Well, maybe not. But anyway, let's see. And now, again, this is just kind of one of those conversation starter type things. The most mispronounced words and phrases.
Ooh.
Now, there's a great starting point would be to go to yourdictionary.com. But, if you're looking for something to talk about with a group of friends sometime, that'd be a great conversation starter. Just to kind of see what people's input are, what they think. Some of the maybe something you hear somebody say all the time, and irrevocable.
Yeah, I was thinking like Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, yeah. What's another one? I don't know. Anyway, but I can't think of them right now. But there's a bunch of them out there. You hear a lot of people say specific instead of Pacific. The Pacific Ocean, or you say Pacific instead of either way. What's a couple of others that kind of common things. One that's getting me now, and mainly this is probably because I'm in sports, is shortening championship.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people call it the chip instead of the ship.
Oh.
Okay, it's a championship.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you want to call it, hey, let's go for the ship, I've got no problem with that. But I hear all these people that are saying chip. I'm like, oh, no, that's not how it's done. I'm just one of those people that sometimes that kind of bothers me. So anyway, I guess I'm just weird that way. I don't know. Let's see. What I had something. Oh, here it is. I just saw this today. The Sullivan Encore Music Boosters are presenting a music trivia night fundraiser. Now, this will be on Saturday, April 6th. The doors will open at 6 o'clock. It starts at 6:30. It's $200 for a table of up to 10 people, or if you have less than 10, it's $25 a person. Attendees must be 18 plus. And I think that this is going to be at the Eagles Hall.
I think so.
They have a silent auction. They'll have music bingo, all kinds of stuff going on. And again, our printer doesn't print in color, so it's some of the stuff. To register your team, contact the Sullivan Encore Music Boosters, encoremusicboosters@gmail.com. And they would like to have you registered by April the 1st. So
it's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. I just saw this. Sometimes they get stuff to us, sometimes they don't. I just happened to see this morning, and so I thought I'll print it out and make mention of this. So those are always a lot of fun.
Yes.
And of course, the Music Boosters do such a great help out, great work for the music programs here in Sullivan, which are just fantastic.
Yes.
Both the band and the vocal music. If you've ever been to one of their events, whether they're concerts or shows, anything like that, it's really enjoyable and just an important part of the offerings at the school, and they do such a great job with it. So help them out. That again, they would like you to register on. It's try it again. encoremusicboosters@gmail.com, and they would like for you to get registered by April the 1st, so they can kind of make some plans and that kind of stuff. So that's coming up. What else is going on with the city besides that meeting coming up?
Well, that's the biggest one. We've got a council meeting on Tuesday, which is also the election. So we'll have that, and I haven't gotten the agenda yet. So I'm not sure what's on there. I don't know if it'll be a quick meeting like last time, or if it'll take forever. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, this should be going out. I imagine they always send us the packet too.
I would assume probably later today.
Probably go out later today.
Yeah.
And so we'll be able to look at that and let people know tomorrow or the weekend or whatever what's on the agenda. And again, I want to remind people, we were talking about community involvement as far as voting and getting your, going to this meeting, getting your input on the park stuff. I don't think people realize, maybe they do, I don't know, but all these public meetings are available. Anybody can go.
Absolutely.
City council meeting, school board meeting, anything like that. The public can go to the open portion of the meeting.
Yes.
And now you may think, well, that stuff is boring. I don't want to sit around and listen to all that. You'd be surprised how much you can learn about what's going on in your town, by going to these meetings.
Yes.
And, you get to hear the discussion between the alder people and the city staff and all that, the various reports and everything. I mean, we give a brief synopsis of stuff here, but, all the discussion and everything that's said is not included. It's just kind of the basic, meat of it. Try it out sometime.
Absolutely.
And see, you hear, especially if you hear something like maybe an ordinance or some of the other things that are going on that, you'd like to find out more about.
Yeah.
head over. They've got seating out there. You come in and have a seat, and they'll tell you when you have to leave, or if there's a pause or something and you have to go, or you're bored to death and you're falling asleep, whatever the case may be, you can get up and leave. You don't have to stay there the whole time, but I encourage you. I've done that as part of my work and as just a regular citizen.
Absolutely.
I've gone in and and that's, I always think too. We talk about not lack of people running for office, and that may be something that spurs somebody, piques their interest.
Yeah.
Maybe this is kind of interesting. Maybe this is something, or maybe I don't like what they're doing or how they're doing it.
Yeah.
So maybe I can get involved and make some changes. Whatever
That's
the
what
case
I did.
may be. Yeah.
I went and sat in a lot of the meetings before I was on as an older person, and it was very helpful because then going into it too, I knew some background.
Yeah.
There's always some history that comes back, and if you don't know it, it's hard to figure out, well, how did we get here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's great to be involved and come up and listen and be a part of that. So.
Yeah. Or, all over county commission.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that, maybe it's something that you hadn't thought about or considered at some point in your life, but, now maybe you're at the point, maybe the kids are grown and gone, and maybe, you have a little bit more time to get involved in things like that.
Yes.
Hey, give it a shot. You just never know. Who knows? One day you might become president.
Yeah. You never know.
Get your start on the Sullivan City Council and work your way up the ladder. Yeah, there you go. All right. Keisha Philpott with me here this morning. We're coming up. We've got news at 8 o'clock. We'll get into that. And then I have Dan Zarlinga. We'll be getting with him by Zoom today from the Missouri Department of Conservation. All sorts of things going on, programming and seminars and some helpful things they've got coming up around the area here, in our area and across the state, and we'll talk with Dan about a lot of that. We're coming up on news at 8 o'clock. This is KTUI 1560 AM Sullivan, Missouri. You can get the morning show on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for KTUI Live. And apologize for not having the audio up. Something got turned down here and I didn't see it. We're also on the TuneIn at KTUI-AM. It is currently 8 o'clock. Time now for the news.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. The White House is announcing the rescheduling of a key meeting with Israeli officials in Washington. USA's John Schaefer.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has consented to move forward with discussions regarding a potential military operation in southern Gaza. Earlier this week, Israel had called off the delegation after the U.S. supported a UN Security Council resolution urging an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
This as new public polling from Gallup finds a 55% majority of Americans now disapprove of Israel's war against Hamas. Millions of people along the East Coast bracing for heavy rain ahead of the Easter holiday. Cities from Providence to Philadelphia have already been drenched by coastal storms and are now getting ready for another round of heavy precipitation that could cause localized flooding and travel disruptions from New England to the Carolinas through Friday. Transportation Chief Pete Buttigieg discussing priorities now that recovery is beginning in the wake of the bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Reopen the port, deal with the supply chain implications until the port does reopen, rebuild the bridge, and deal with the surface transportation implications until the bridge is rebuilt.
6 people are presumed dead after a cargo ship hit a pillar of the bridge early Tuesday morning, causing it to collapse. Crews resumed salvage and recovery operations Thursday. The NTSB says the cargo ship that hit the bridge was carrying toxic chemical materials. There still remain many people missing in the wake of that concert hall terror attack in Russia last week. So far, the Kremlin's confirmed a death toll of 143 in Friday's ISIS-K assault. However, there are still as many as 100 people missing and unaccounted for. Russia's investigative committee published a list of names identifying those who are confirmed dead. This is USA News.
Progressive presents Flo and Jamie announcing a monster truck rally.
And here comes the Obliterator.
Whoa! And he's up on 2 wheels. That can't be safe.
I don't recommend flipping your car backwards.
Did he even check his blind spot?
And the car's on fire.
I definitely don't recommend that.
This is one of my recurring nightmares.
Progressive is all about keeping it safe, so bundle your home and auto for 24/7 protection. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Coverage not provided for monster trucks. Not available in all states.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
The White House is announcing the rescheduling of a key meeting with Israeli officials in Washington. USA's John Schaefer.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has consented to move forward with discussions regarding a potential military operation in southern Gaza. Earlier this week, Israel had called off the delegation after the U.S. supported a UN Security Council resolution urging an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
As the new California minimum wage approaches $20 per hour, major restaurants are preparing to adjust. Some plan to raise menu prices, shifting labor costs to consumers, while others will increase reliance on technology like fry robots and self-serve kiosks. McDonald's, Taco Bell, and similar chains are already emphasizing app-based pre-orders. The wage hike recently approved by the legislature, signed by the governor of California, aims to provide a vital cost of living increase for about 700,000 fast food workers in the state. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wastes no time calling out targets for criticism as he seeks the presidency on a rogue third-party run. Kennedy announced his VP pick, wealthy California attorney Nicole Shanahan, this week, having this to say about some of the things they both agree on.
That the defense agencies work for the military-industrial complex. That health agencies work for Big Pharma. That the USDA works for Big Ag and the processed food cartels.
I'm Ryan Daniels, USA News.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
You deserve extraordinary care close to home. From primary care to advanced specialties right here in Sullivan. And access to all that BJC Healthcare has to offer. We're here to provide the care you need. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital and BJC Healthcare. Care that is comprehensive, coordinated, and completely about you. Learn more at MissouriBaptistSullivan.org.
With news on MissouriNet, I'm Marshall Griffin. This year's Missouri State Fair won't have a rodeo, motocross, tractor pulls, or demolition derbies because preparations are underway to build a new arena to host those events. Construction is expected to begin sometime this summer, possibly during the State Fair itself, and it won't likely be ready until March of 2026. State Fair Director Jason Moore says the timing could also lead to canceling some events next year as well.
Is it possible that we can do that in the future if we get the electrical and sewer and water and things like that, to maybe put up some temporary type arenas to be able to host? So we certainly didn't want to just say no for 2025, but we also are realistic enough to know it's highly possible that we won't be able to.
The Missouri House has passed a bill that would expand Medicaid coverage to include hearing aids and cochlear implants for all eligible low-income residents. And the state Senate has passed a wide-ranging bill to benefit veterans in Missouri. The bill heads to the House for another look. This is MissouriNet.
Not everyone recognizes that they might have a gambling problem. How do you know if gambling is a problem for you? Ask yourself if either or both of the following questions are accurate. Have you felt the need to bet more and more money? Have you ever lied to people important to you about how much you gambled? If your answer is yes to either of these questions, free help is available. Call 1-888-BETS-OFF for more information.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
New Testament Baptist Church in Sullivan is starting a new addiction recovery ministry called Life Issues. It's a biblical approach to the 12 steps, bringing scriptural principles into personal focus and making them come alive for transformational living. Whether you struggle with addictions, food, depression, anxiety, or relationships, you'll be encouraged to see how others have found a new way of life with hope for the future through this program. Life Issues will meet weekly on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. at New Testament Baptist Church. You're not alone. To find out more, contact New Testament Baptist Church at 573-468-3334.
Whether you love them or can't stand them, surprises are a part of life. Hi, I'm Donnie Greenwald, your Sullivan Edward Jones financial advisor, and I can help get you ready for whatever life throws at you, even the welcome surprises. As your needs change, we can change what you need to do to help you end up where you want to be. And while there is never a good time to experience unexpected costs, we can work together to help make them feel a little less unexpected. Call me at 573-468-6046 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Looking at our local news on this Thursday from the Sullivan Bank studios of KTUI Radio, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reported a fatality accident at 6:18 a.m. yesterday in Franklin County on I-44 eastbound at mile marker 227 east of Sullivan. A 2016 Kenworth conventional tractor-trailer unit driven by 28-year-old Manpreet Singh of Elmont, New York, traveling west on I-44, went through the cable median barrier into the eastbound lanes into the path of a 2017 Chevrolet Traverse driven by 59-year-old Edith L. McKee of Sullivan. The Traverse hit the right side of the tractor-trailer. Both vehicles went off the right side of the roadway and caught fire. 59-year-old Edith L. McKee of Sullivan was pronounced by EMS personnel on scene at 6:37. The driver of the tractor-trailer, 28-year-old Manpreet Singh of New York, was taken by Missouri Baptist Ambulance to Missouri Baptist Hospital Sullivan for treatment of minor injuries. There was another fatality accident at 7:29 a.m. Wednesday in Jasper County on Highway 96, 2 miles east of Avila. A 1999 International tanker truck driven by 70-year-old David K. Wyckoff of Everton, Missouri, was slowing down to make a right turn from Highway 96 onto a county road. A 2013 Ford F-350 truck driven by 69-year-old Robert W. Rathman of Mount Vernon, Missouri, failed to slow and struck the rear of the tanker unit. 69-year-old Robert W. Hathman of Mount Vernon was pronounced at the scene by Deputy Jasper County Coroner. The driver of the tanker truck, David K. Wyckoff of Mount Vernon, suffered minor injuries. He was taken to Mercy Hospital in Joplin for treatment. Another fatality accident occurred at 7:50 yesterday morning in Wright County on Highway AM, a quarter mile east of Mountain Grove. A 2014 Peterbilt tractor-trailer was stopped in the roadway while the operator was working on the vehicle. A 2020 Nissan Pathfinder driven by 29-year-old Jamie L. Holloway of Mountain Grove, Missouri, struck the trailer unit in the rear. Jamie L. Holloway, 29-year-old female from Mountain Grove, was pronounced at the scene by the Wright County coroner. A passenger in her vehicle, a 4-year-old male juvenile from Mountain Grove, suffered minor injuries. He was taken by Mercy Ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Springfield for treatment. Jamie Holloway was not wearing her seatbelt. The Highway Patrol reported an arrest at 3:37 p.m. yesterday. 31-year-old female from Licking, Peyton N. Mortis, was arrested by the Highway Patrol on a Missouri Parole Board parole absconder warrant. She was taken to the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility and held without bond. The Crawford County Coroner's Office is seeking to find next of kin for 61-year-old Sandra S. Hartzell. She had lived in Maryland, now living in Missouri. If anyone knows Miss Hartzell or know where they might be able to contact her next of kin, please contact the Crawford County Coroner's Office at 573-775-4250. East Central College wrapping up their public forums, offering residents an opportunity to stay informed and ask questions about Proposition ECC that will be on the ballot April 2nd. These forums will delve into the details of the tax levy transfer and its benefits for both the communities and the college. There will be a forum tonight from 5:30 until 6:30 p.m. at the Sullivan branch of the Scenic Regional Library. The public is invited. The levy transfer is expected to generate $2.2 million annually for the college. Bourbon schools holding their annual preschool and kindergarten registration. Today's the final day for that. If you live in the Bourbon district, have a child ages 3 to 5 who might be eligible to attend either preschool or kindergarten, please call Tracy Rushing at 573-732-3293 to schedule an appointment today. All children new to the district that are eligible for preschool and kindergarten must participate in this screening process. Kindergarten registration going on in Sullivan. If you have a child that will be 5 years of age by July 31st, you need to come to the Sullivan Primary School on April 4th. They'll be doing registration from 7:30 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. that day. They will need your child's shot record and birth certificate, and from the parents, they'll need a copy of a driver's license and proof of residency, such as an electric bill or rental agreement. If you have any questions about kindergarten registration in Sullivan, call the primary school office, 573-468-5171, option 4. MoDOT has scheduled some road work for Highway 28 in the Owensville area. Capital Paving is scheduled to start work today with milling transitions, and when that is done around April 1st, they will start the asphalt paving work. Work will be done at night by crews with no daytime closures. Please use caution while driving through those work zones over the next several days. Franklin County Government Center, county administrative offices, historic courthouse, health department, and highway department will be closed on Friday in observance of Good Friday. Sheriff's Department will remain open as they are 24 hours every day. And you're invited to bring the kids out for the second annual Chief Mason Griffith Easter Parade, sponsored by the Rosebud Community Park Association and the Rosebud Police Department. It'll be held Friday starting at 5:30. Bring your Easter baskets and load up on candy. The candy cannon will start at 6:30. You're invited to bring your group's decorated vehicles, floats, UTVs, first responder vehicles, etc. to join in the fun. And for those that are entering floats in the parade, bring your own candy to throw. Please, no plastic eggs. The parade lineup will be starting at 4:30 at the Rosebud RV Park, facing Rosebud Avenue. Parade will start promptly at 5:30. The famous Park Fish Fry be going on in the community park there from 4 until 7 p.m., and they are accepting donations for the event. No excuse absentee voting for the April 2nd election is now underway. The Missouri legislature approved a law in 2022 that allows for voters to cast an early ballot without needing an excuse. No excuse absentee voting will be allowed in Franklin County weekdays from 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. and then again from 8 a.m. till 12 noon this Saturday. Voting must be done at the county clerk's office. In Crawford County, no excuse voting must be done at the Crawford County Courthouse. Washington County voters must cast their ballot at the Washington County Courthouse in Potosi. Hours are 8 to 4:30. That's your look at local news on this Thursday from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D.
We know you have lawns to mow, work sites to build, fields to manage, and jobs to finish. With over 100 years of experience, Seidenstricker Nobe will be with you every step of the way. Our customers are the center of everything we do. Find affordable pricing, low monthly payments, and easy financing options on all our John Deere equipment. With 27 locations to serve you, Seidenstricker Nobe Partners is your source for everything John Deere. snpartners.com.
Earn 5.51 annual percentage yield on a 7-month CD at Sullivan Bank. Use our CD calculator on sullivanbank.com and see how much you could earn. Experience great rates and a step up in service. We are waiting to greet you with a smile. Annual percentage yield of 5.51 APY is accurate as of December 26, 2023. $1,000 minimum balance required to earn stated APY. Penalty may be imposed for early withdrawal, which will reduce earnings on the account. Interest compounded and credited quarterly. Rate subject to change at any time. Available at all locations.
Funeral notices are brought to you by the Eaton Funeral Homes of Sullivan and Bourbon. The symbol of the Eaton name reflects consideration and competence. Also quiet, unobtrusive friendliness and service without restraint. There is never a reason to settle for less than an Eaton service, particularly because it costs no more and very often less than appearances may lead you to believe. For help in the greatest time of need, call the Eaton Funeral Homes in Sullivan or Bourbon. 468-4147, a family tradition in service since 1948.
In our recent funeral announcements, Julia Saltzman, née Bookout of Sullivan, passed away Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 83. She is survived by her husband, George, a sister, Janice Bookout, and a brother, Paul Bookout, both of Springfield, Missouri. Her children, Elisa Scanlon and husband Dave, Mary Hopkins and husband Roger, David Saltzman, Valerie Lohr and husband Hank, and Melinda Lohman and husband Brandon. 11 grandchildren, 16 great-grandchildren, along with many nieces, nephews, cousins, and friends. Funeral services will be conducted at 10 o'clock this morning at the Temple Baptist Church in Sullivan. Interment will follow at Crow Cemetery in Sullivan. All arrangements for Julia Saltzman are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. W.J. Bill Benthall of Bourbon passed away Friday, March 22nd at the age of 92. Bill is survived by his wife Dorothy of Bourbon, 2 daughters, Susan Fleshard and husband Michael of St. Peter's, and Kathy Wascom of O'Fallon, stepchildren Carol Biggins of Bourbon, William Higgins and wife Kathy of Lake Jackson, Texas, Jeffrey Higgins of St. Louis, and Patrick Higgins and wife Tina of Bourbon, a host of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, other relatives, and many friends. Funeral services for Bill Benthall will be conducted at 12 noon today at the Calvary Baptist Church in Bourbon. Interment will be in the Memorial Park Cemetery in St. Louis. Visitation will be from 10 a.m. until time of services at noon today at the Calvary Baptist Church in Bourbon. All arrangements for Bill Benthall are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Danny R. Jones of Sullivan passed away on Saturday, March 23rd at Merrimack Nursing Center in Sullivan at the age of 67. He is survived by his daughters, Amity Janelle and husband Chris of Thompson, Georgia, and Aaron White and husband Stephen of Sullivan. His mother, Norma Jones of Branson, Missouri, 4 grandchildren, a great-granddaughter, a brother Dennis Jones, other relatives, and many friends. Funeral services for Danny Jones will be held at 6 o'clock tonight at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Visitation will be held from 4 o'clock until services at 6 p.m. at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Memorial contributions may be made to VFW Post 3987 in memory of Danny Jones, with all arrangements by the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Frances Ann Bell passed away on Sunday, March 24th in St. Peters, Missouri at the age of 84. Frances is survived by her children, Larry Bell of St. Peters and Deanna Bell of Belleville, Missouri, 9 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, numerous cousins, and other relatives. Funeral services for Frances Bell will be held at 11 a.m. Friday at Concordia Lutheran Church in Bourbon. Interment will follow at Bourbon Cemetery. Cremation has taken place. There will be a visitation from 9:30 until services at 11 a.m. Friday at the church. All arrangements for Frances Bell are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Sharon Lee Bender, née Skelton of St. Clair, passed away Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 80. She is survived by her husband, Lee Bender of St. Clair, 2 sons, Ray Luthauser Jr. and wife Carrie of Cedar Hill, and Steve Luthauser and wife Lynn of Cedar Hill, 5 daughters, Michelle Reesner and significant other Tony Story of St. Clair, Tamara Lister and husband John of St. Clair, Kathy Gentner and husband Will of Hallsville, Jeanette Bender of Fenton, and Julie Fisher and husband Christopher of Florissant, 19 grandchildren, 26 great-grandchildren, other relatives and friends. Funeral services for Sharon Bender will be held at 1 p.m. Friday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be at the Crestview Memorial Park in St. Clair. Visitation will be held from 10 a.m. until services at 1 p.m. on Friday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair for Sharon Bender. Benjamin Adam Bach of Union passed away Monday at the age of 37. He is survived by his mother, Robin Schaefer Cutter of O'Fallon, and his father, Ben Bach, and significant other Rhonda Calkins of Rosebud, a brother, Alexander Bach, and wife, Jessie of Cornelius, North Carolina. Funeral services for Benjamin Adam Bach will be held Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville, with burial in Countryside Memorial Gardens. Visitation will be held from 4 until 8 p.m. Friday at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville for Benjamin Adam Bach. Peggy J. Bryant of Bourbon passed away Sunday, March 24th in St. Louis at the age of 64. Peggy is survived by her husband Leroy of Bourbon, 3 children, Billy Bryant and wife Cassie of Sullivan, Christina Britton and boyfriend Joseph Suppmuller of Union, and Amanda Webb and husband Staff Sergeant Shannon Michael Webb of Fort Hood, Texas. A bonus daughter, Shakita Cook, and husband Stephan of St. Louis, 11 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, her mother, Jean Smith of Stanton, 2 sisters, Kelly Pounds and husband Alan of Sullivan, Tammy Shipman and husband Mark of St. James, many nieces, nephews, other relatives, and friends. Funeral services for Peggy Bryant will be held at 11 a.m. Saturday at the Oak Hill Free Will Baptist Church of Union. Interment will follow at Smith Cemetery, Nedgar Springs. Visitation will be held from 9 a.m. until services at 11 on Saturday at the Oak Hill Free Will Baptist Church in Union. Memorial contributions may be made to the American Breast Cancer Society or St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in memory of Peggy Bryant. All arrangements are under the care and direction of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Ransom W. Randy Dudley Sr. passed away on Wednesday, March 20th in Sullivan at the age of 86. Randy is survived by his wife Carolyn, his children Cindy Carey and husband Randy, Cliff Dudley and wife Vivian, and Lisa Brendel and husband Ray, all of Sullivan. 8 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, numerous nieces, nephews, other relatives, and treasured friends. A celebration of life service will be planned for a later date. Cremation has taken place. In lieu of flowers, the family wishes for people to hug those they love. Arrangements for Randy Dudley Sr. are under the care of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. Rita Ethel Monteleone of Rolla passed away in Rolla on Sunday, March 17th at the age of 80. She is survived by her children, Nicholas Monteleone and Peter Monteleone Jr., both of Rolla. A brother, David De Palma of Virginia, 1 granddaughter, 2 nieces, many other relatives and friends. The family has chosen cremation as her final disposition. There will be no services held at this time. All arrangements for Rita Monteleone are under the care of the Hudson Funeral Home in Cuba. Ralph Willard Dulaney of Cuba passed away Saturday, March 23rd at the age of 85. He is survived by his wife Frances of Cuba, his children Cindy Radford of Steelville, Lori Dulaney and Ralph William Dulaney, both of San Antonio, Texas, Belinda Dulaney of Bernie, Texas, Brenda and husband David Mendoza, Lynn Copeling, William and wife Karen Parkins, and Carrie Parkins, all of Cuba. A brother, John, and wife Linda Dulaney of St. Louis, brothers-in-law, Ed and wife Penny Copeling of Lebanon, Ray and wife Cheryl Copeling of Cuba, sisters-in-law, Mary Lou Dulaney of Fredericktown, Margie and husband Tom Dean of Richland, Betty Bridgman of Chitopa, Kansas, and Rebecca Bryant of Steelville, 14 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren, many nieces, nephews, cousins, and friends. The family has chosen cremation as his final disposition. No services will be held at this time. All arrangements for Ralph Willard Dulaney are under the direction of the Hudson Funeral Home in Cuba.
Funeral notices are brought to you by the Eaton Funeral Homes of Sullivan and Burbank.
We all want to be the best version of ourselves, and Compass Health Network is your preferred provider for all things related to your health and well-being. From primary care and mental health services to pediatric and adult dental procedures, our professional and compassionate staff is here for you. Call us today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org to find a location in your area. Compass Health Network is here to help you reach your healthcare goals.
The Cardinals begin the 2024 regular season today out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Here's Matt Pauley from the Cardinals Radio Network to set the stage.
After a long offseason, the day that St. Louis Cardinals fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. The Cardinals open up the 2024 campaign this afternoon. They are in Los Angeles to start a 4-game series against the Dodgers. Yesterday, the Cardinals announced their opening day roster. It does include prospect Victor Scott II. He is going to be the opening day center fielder. They have to make room on the 40-man roster for Scott to get onto the 26-man roster, and they do that by placing first baseman Jared Young on outright waivers, so he is no longer on the 40-man roster. Also, infielder Jose Fermin has been optioned to Memphis. Miles Michaelis is going to make the start today for the Cardinals. He is set to be opposed by Tyler Glasnow, with Sonny Gray opening up the season on the injured list. Michaelis is going to be joined by Zach Thompson, Lance Lynn, Steven Matz, and Kyle Gibson in the starting rotation. This afternoon's game is scheduled to begin at 3:10. That means coverage begins at 2:15. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Thank you very much, Matt. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:15 today on 102.1 KTUI FM. Blues forward Oscar Sundqvist will miss the rest of the season after suffering a torn ACL in his right knee in Monday's game against the Vegas Golden Knights. He was helped off the ice by his teammates and the Blues trainer and did not return to the game after taking a hit in the corner in the offensive zone in the second period. It was determined that Sundqvist will require surgery and will be reevaluated in 6 months. The Blues will host Calgary tonight, needing to finish the season on a hot streak, as they are currently 5 points behind Las Vegas for the second wild card berth in the Western Conference. Pregame tonight at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10. That'll be on KTUI 1560 AM. After an extensive national search, Missouri State University has selected Conzo Martin as its next men's head basketball coach. The man who orchestrated Missouri State's only Missouri Valley Conference regular season championship run during his first tenure in Springfield will be formally reintroduced to the Bears fans during a 1 p.m. news conference on Monday. It is a 5-year contract with a value of $600,000 a year plus incentives. College of the Ozarks baseball team split a doubleheader at Ecclesia College yesterday, winning 13-4 and losing 6-4. Westminster College baseball took both games of a home doubleheader with Principia, a 13-9 victory in Game 1, a 19-9 rout in Game 2. Aiden Pekka from Washington 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBI in Game 1 for Westminster. He went 1 for 2 with 2 more runs and 2 RBI in the second game. Gavin Matchell from Washington was 3 for 8 with a run and 2 RBI on the day for Principia. In college softball, the Evangel Valor softball team hosted Friends University for a doubleheader on Wednesday evening, splitting a pair of 1-run games. Friends got the win in Game 1, 3-2 in 8 innings. The Valor came up with a walk-off 4-3 win in Game 2. Naomi Perkins from Steelville 1 for 4 with 2 walks on the day for Evangel. And the Jefferson College Vikings softball team grabbed both games at home against State Fair Community College on Wednesday, 7-0 and 7-2. Looking at the college sports schedule, in baseball, Missouri will start a series at Vanderbilt at 6 o'clock tonight. Missouri State at Newman University at 3. ECC Falcon baseball at North Central Missouri College in Trenton for a doubleheader starting at noon today. Also at noon, Mineral Area will be at Metropolitan Community College in Kansas City for Twin Bill. Emporia State at Central Oklahoma at 6 o'clock tonight. Missouri S&T opens up a series at Illinois Springfield at 1 o'clock today. St. Charles Community College at Crowder College at 6, and UMSL at Maryville at 2 o'clock. In softball, Missouri is out east at George Mason at 3 o'clock. The East Central softball team will be at MSU West Plains for a doubleheader at 2. Mineral Area at Jefferson College for a doubleheader at 2. Oklahoma at Kansas, big series there, 5 o'clock start time tonight. St. Charles Community College at Moberly Area Community College for a doubleheader at 2. And the college track schedule, the Joey Haynes Invitational down at SEMO today and tomorrow. Maryville, Mineral Area, University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy, some of the teams will be participating. St. Louis University splitting up their squad, a part of them going to the Raleigh Relays and some to the Texas Relays. Truman State athletes will be at the Dutch Invitational at Central College, Iowa, and Washburn at the Emporia State Relays today and tomorrow. We send along our congratulations to Sullivan senior Adam Perigo, as he has signed a letter of intent to continue his wrestling career at Westminster College next season. The 2023-24 Central Missouri Media All-District basketball teams were released. Local athletes, Class 4 first team, Chase Crosby, a freshman from Owensville, Tate Groover, sophomore from St. James, and Preston Heads, a junior from Cuba. Boys Class 4 second team, Jesse Elrod, a junior from Cuba, Lane Evans, a senior from Owensville. Class 4 girls first team, Kendall Kostopoulos and Emily Recker, seniors from St. James. Allie Daniels, a junior from Owensville, Emma Daniels, senior from Owensville, and Tyra Hafer, a senior from Cuba. Class 4 girls second team selections, Cam Caldwell, a junior from Owensville, Courtney Karen, a junior from Cuba, Lydia Kimnitzer, junior from St. James, Morgan Pilkington, senior from Cuba. John Van Leer of Owensville was named the Coach of the Year. Class 3 boys first team, Nolan Bruni, a senior from Herman, Carson Mullins, senior from Steelville, and Baylor Smith, a senior from Bell. Second team selections, Braden Cadwallader, a senior from Bell, Dayton Hopkins, a junior from Herman. Class 3 girls first team, Ava Hughes, junior from Herman, Abby Kreitner, senior from Steelville, Aniston Lansford, a sophomore from Bell. Second team picks, Bevan Bouse, a junior from Bourbon, Nevaeh Kinsey, a senior from Bell, Marley Perkins, a senior from Steelville, Kennedy Whithouse, a junior from Herman. In the local scoreboard from last night, it was Sullivan picking up a come-from-behind 10-7 win at Steelville. Eagles were down 7-3 at one point, tied it up in the fifth inning, a 3-run home run from Cam Koch. They scored 3 in the sixth, take a lead, and won it by a score of 10-7. Didn't get a score on the JV game down there yesterday. Borgia over Pacific 4-1 in a big matchup yesterday. Borgia took the JV contest 12-0. Hillsboro got by St. Clair 7-5 in varsity, 6-0 in JV. Bourbon played Kingston up at the Grizzlies ballpark in Sauget, Illinois, and came out on top last night 8-7. It was Herman taking both games from Vanfar, 11-5 in varsity, 11-1 in JV. Lynn beat New Haven 16-1. It was Borgia freshman over Owensville 10-7, and Liberty freshman down Washington 6-0. Girls soccer, St. Pius X of Festus shut out Borgia 3-0 in varsity. They won the JV game as well, 3-1. Koryezu over Washington 5-4 in penalty kicks in that Lindbergh JV tournament. Didn't get a score on Crocker at Owensville. Spring softball, Steelville with a big win over Salem last night, 13-3 in varsity play. Looking at the schedule of games for today, Sullivan baseball team has picked up a game at Eldon today. Varsity then JV starting at 4:30. We will not be able to broadcast that game today. Elsewhere, Bell will be at Dixon. That's a 3 o'clock start. Borgia at Lutheran St. Charles, varsity only at 4:30. Lutheran St. Charles at Borgia for JV at 4:15. Silex at Herman, 4:30. Waynesville at Owensville, freshman game at 4:30. Washington at Francis Howell for JV at 4:15. St. Charles West at Washington for a freshman game at Dutz Southfield at 4:30. And Wellsville at New Haven, and that's a 4:30 start today. Girls soccer on the schedule. North County will be at Sullivan, varsity then JV at 5. Borgia at O'Fallon Christian, varsity only at 6. Dixon at Owensville, varsity only at 5. Pacific at Valley Park for a varsity-only matchup at 5 o'clock, and Washington at Liberty, JV then varsity at 5 o'clock. Spring softball today, Bourbon has added a home game. They'll take on Conway today, and that'll get underway at 4:30. High school track today, Bell, Cuba, Herman, St. James, and Steelville all running at the Lynn Invitational. Gets underway at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Bourbon will be hosting a middle school invitational meet today. Bland, Cuba, Owensville, St. Clair, Steelville, some of the middle school teams running in Bourbon. That starts at 3:30 this afternoon. Our sports on the air today, we have Cardinals baseball, season opener out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Pregame starts at 2:15, first pitch at 3:20. You'll hear it on 102.1 KTUI FM. Blues hockey tonight at home against Calgary. Pregame at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10 on 1560 AM and on the TuneIn app at KTUI-AM. That's your look at sports from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio on this Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D.
Do you have a guy? Like your dad or grandpa had a guy. Something broke around the house you couldn't fix, Gramps would say, call my guy. He probably drove an old blue pickup, big tool chest in the back, decades of calluses on strong hands, name on his shirt like Don or Ed or Buddy. He just always seemed to know the best way to fix any problem. That's why Grandpa trusted him. There's not many of those guys around today, and no wonder. Between taxes and technology, insurance and licensing, it's hard to be that guy and be competitive. Well, that's why this company started. We love what we do, and we still want to be that guy. Independent technicians, generations of combined experience, all joined together as one powerful team. Strength in numbers, you know? If you're ever stuck with a broken furnace or air conditioner, now you've got a guy.
We're Level 9 Heating and Cooling.
Level9HVAC.com.
It is currently 25 minutes away from the hour of 9 o'clock. It is 42 degrees. Clear skies and sunshine here at the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. And with me today, I have Dan Zarlinga from the Missouri Department of Conservation. And Dan, thanks for your time today. Appreciate you joining us.
I always appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
All right. A lot of things going on. It's springtime, so people are looking for stuff to do outside. And I know one of the things that the Department of Conservation is really good at is providing programming for all types of different things and something for everybody in the family, right?
That's right. Yes, we try to offer a variety of things for folks of all ages, all abilities, all interests for outdoor stuff.
Now, I know I was looking through some of the news releases. You've got something coming up here in our area a little bit later on in April. It's going to be a field day on forest health and related topics, April the 13th. Is that right?
Yeah, so that one is kind of focused on landowners and property managers. And it's going to be a really cool opportunity to learn from both Missouri Department of Conservation experts and MU Extension experts as well. So it's in cooperation with MU Extension. And what it's going to be is folks are going to meet on some private property that's already been set up and everything to see forest management practices in action. And it's going to be kind of a workshop where they're going to cover things like how to deal with invasive species and forest pests and diseases and just ways to keep your forest and woodlands healthy and growing. And then the neatest part about it is they're going to have a tour of a number of different properties that have enacted these various practices, so you can see what it looks like on the ground and the results as well. So really a neat thing. That's coming up April 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And where they're going to folks are going to meet is on some property near Steelville, and it does require pre-registration. So once folks register for that online, then they get all the details as far as the meeting location and everything goes. But it's completely free, and it even includes a free lunch. So
oh, hey, that's a bonus.
That's another little perk, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. So again, if maybe if you have most recently bought a piece of property, or you maybe bought a house with some little acreage to go with it, and you want to make sure everything is taken care of, you're doing things right. Now, does this also include not just the property, like the forestry management, but does that also include like providing habitat for wildlife? Is that something that's part of this as well?
Yeah, sure. So that will be part of it as well.
Okay.
And, everything's interrelated. So if you have a healthy forest, or whatever habitat you're working on, whether it's prairie or forest or wetland, if you have a healthy base, you will get a variety of wildlife, because that's the base of all wildlife is good habitat. So if you provide that good habitat, you will get improved things like songbirds, more deer, more turkey, more of the things that you want to see in terms of wildlife, because you have a healthy habitat for them. So that's the basis for all wildlife management, is habitat.
Okay. All right. That sounds interesting. And again, folks need to pre-register for that. Something else I saw, and this is just right around the corner in a couple of days, actually, this springtime, and you've probably seen them as you're driving around in rural areas. The turtles are out again.
Yeah. So this is a big time. The spring is a time as things are warming up and the weather's getting nicer. The turtles are on the move, and they're out looking for mates. They're out looking for nesting sites. So they're on the move quite a bit right now. And the big thing that we like to make sure folks are aware of is they could be moving onto roads as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of their normal travels. So we ask folks to be especially vigilant this time of year for turtles. Especially if they're going out in more rural areas or areas that might have fields or wooded areas nearby. Be a little bit more alert to that. Just, basic common sense driving skills. Don't text and don't fool with the radio, don't talk on the phone while you're driving, and maintain your focus on the road. And that's especially important for turtles because they are a long-lived species and they don't reproduce prodigiously. They don't have a lot of predators. And so if we hit turtles with our cars, which is a significant thing, by the way, an impact to the turtle population, we are doing two things. A, we're basically, killing turtles, and B, we're doing it at a time when they're trying to reproduce. So it's a double whammy because we're impacting their ability to reproduce. So we ask folks to keep an eye out for them. And if you do see a turtle on the road and it's safe to do so, that's important, and you can pull over, go ahead and get out and pick that turtle up and put him on the side of the road he was already heading toward. So just kind of help him across the road, basically. If it's not safe to get out of the car, just try to either, if you're moving at slow speeds and there's no oncoming traffic, you can maybe drive around the turtle. Otherwise, it's actually the best thing is probably to straddle the turtle between your tires, and your car will probably go over it without hurting it. So that's probably the safest thing to do overall. Just try to be aware and try not to hit them.
Well, the reason I bring it up is I saw something that you're having at the Powder Valley Conservation Nature Center this Saturday, an opportunity to learn a little bit more about box turtles and ways to help them out, keep them safe, and and that's a program you got coming up this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And to get information about all of our programs that you mentioned, the best thing to do is go to our website, mdc.mo.gov. And then there in the upper right, there's an events tab. If you click on the events tab, you will get to all of our events, and you can filter the events by region. Here we are in the St. Louis region.
Right.
And you can find out everything that's going on, including the program on Saturday.
All right. What else have you got you want to share with us today?
Well, I mean, a big thing coming up here in April is turkey season.
Right.
So that's one of our bigger hunting seasons of the year, just second probably to our fall deer season. And Franklin County is a great place to hunt turkey. They're always, the harvest is always among the highest in the state. So that's definitely something to think about. It actually kicks off with the youth season, April 6th and 7th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And that's basically a time where we set aside in the woods for our younger hunters, 16 and under, to give them a chance to hunt without the pressure of other hunters, give them a little head start of the season and everything to make it a little bit easier for them. And it's a great chance for folks to mentor a younger hunter, whether you're a father, a mother, an aunt, uncle, grandfather, whatever, and you know a young person or just a young friend who wants to start hunting. That's a great opportunity. And then our regular season for everyone else, the general public, opens April 15th and goes through May 5th. So that's kind of a neat thing. And one change we've made this year for private property owners who are hunting on their private property or anyone's private property where they have permission. Traditionally, the hunting hours were a half hour before sunrise until 1 p.m. Now we've changed that for those private landowners on private lands. They can hunt from a half hour before sunrise until sunset. So we've extended that hunting opportunity until sunset. And once again, that's private land. Now on public land, conservation areas and such, it's still 1 p.m. Right. Sunrise to a half hour before sunrise to 1 p.m. But private landowners on private property have that extra extension till sunset.
Yeah, that's something to take note of. Now, what are the limits? I know there's how many you can take and things like that. What are the limits for turkey season this year?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same. It's a little bit complicated. You can on the first week of the season, you can take up to one bird. Okay, so you can take one bird, and once you get your bird that first week, you can't take any more. But then during the second 2 weeks of the season, you can go ahead and take your total limit, which I believe is 3 total.
Okay.
So the second 2 need to be taken the second 2 weeks. So you can only take one that first week. And now if you're a youth hunter and you do manage to take one during the youth season, that does count then as your first bird for the regular season as well.
Okay.
So just a little something to keep in mind. It depends on which week you're hunting, that you have to keep in mind the limit there.
Now that the youth season is fairly new for turkey hunting. I know they've had it for the firearms deer season for a number of years, but is that fairly new for turkey hunting to have the separate youth season?
Well, I can't tell you offhand when it started, but we've been doing it for a number of years.
Okay.
It's not too new. So, I mean, the youth deer season may predate it. I'm not sure about that. I have to do a little research, but we've been doing it for a little while, and it's the youth turkey season. And again, just like the youth deer season, similar thing. We try to get younger hunters a chance to get out there, and if you're mentoring a young turkey hunter, well, obviously you can't hunt yourself, so you don't have to worry about it cutting into your hunting opportunity to mentor a younger person.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, they're not, competing with other hunters in the woods and things like that. So it's just a good opportunity to get a start.
Yeah. Well, and again, you get a chance to teach them, how to do calls and things like that. And as you talked about, a little bit more of a low pressure, low volume of hunters and that sort of thing, where maybe they're able to make a mistake or two and maybe still be able to get a turkey, and just all part of the learning process.
Exactly. And, if you're starting out, like you said, you're liable to make a mistake. Maybe not, you're trying to learn how to call. Even experienced hunters find that challenging. So, there's enough challenge to turkey hunting as it is.
Oh, yeah.
So it just gives a little bit less of a challenge maybe for a young hunter getting started.
All right. What are some other programs that may be coming up around the area here in the near future?
Yeah, so we've always got our great things going on at our shooting ranges.
Yeah.
We've got introduction to fly casting April 2nd at Henge's shooting range, which is that's right off I-44 there and in Eureka. And it's an opportunity for folks to learn how to fly cast, or maybe if you learned many years ago and got a little rusty at it, it's a chance for you to kind of renew your skills. So, kind of go through all the techniques and tips and all that. And then there's going to be actual practice sessions where you can actually practice and kind of hone down your skills there. Okay. So folks who may want to go to our trout parks, which are now open for catch and keep, that at Merrimack Spring there near St. James. You can learn that skill and then go practice it at the trout park or one of our trout streams for that matter. Yeah. So we've got a lot of great Ozark trout streams that we manage for trout. So great opportunity there. Spring's a good time to get out and do that. We have another interesting program at Hedges Shooting Range. It's called Glow Clays, and basically it's a situation. It's a night program that's coming up April 3rd, and where they basically have like black lights, the old black lights for the 70s, fluorescent posters.
Yeah.
They've got ultraviolet lights, and then that fluoresces the clays, because the clays are typically, bright orange. And so they just kind of a cool little twist, kind of like cosmic bowling, only for trap shooting. So that's a cool thing coming up. Yeah. And again, just look to our website, mdc.mo.gov, follow the events tab, and you get all these and more.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting with that, the kind of glow-in-the-dark trap shooting, I guess, if you want to call it that. That sounds like it might be a lot of fun for those that like to get out and shoot trap. And you talked about the fly casting. I know I live in St. James, so I know, a lot of people that frequent Merrimack Springs out there. And most of those guys, once they learn how to fly fish, the fly casting, they use that all the time. They won't hardly go back to what most people would consider normal fishing techniques. They really love to do it. Really keeps them focused on what they're doing and just really enjoy it. And a lot of them find that they have better success with that method than they would with more common methods.
That may be the case. I'm not a fly fisher myself.
I'm not either.
I possess that skill.
Yeah.
But I know it's kind of addicting from what I've seen. And you're right. When people get into it, they really get into it. And then, of course, there's the fly tying, which is another whole thing that, we offer. I don't know if we're offering one in the immediate future, but from time to time, we've offered programs on fly tying. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole art and technique in itself. Yeah. So, there's a whole thing around this fly casting, fly tying, fly fishing. It's just kind of a thing that a lot of folks really get into.
All right. Got anything else for us, Dan?
Well, I did want to mention, too, one of the coolest natural events that one could ever witness is coming up April 8th, and that's the total solar eclipse. Now, here in this area, we're just outside the range where we will get totality. But if folks look up in the sky, they will notice that, like with proper safety, of course, safety glasses and whatnot,
right,
you can see that the sun is getting a little bite taken out of it by the moon. But if you're willing to travel maybe a couple of hours down more to southeast Missouri, you will get into totality there. And that's when the moon completely covers the sun and the sky goes dark and it's almost like night. And that's an amazing experience. And one of the things that I would like to do, I am going down there for that. And one of the things I would like to look at, in addition to all the other cool stuff about the solar eclipse, is how wildlife responds to it. Because you might hear the daytime birds may stop chirping because they think it's night. You may start hearing nighttime frogs or owls or whatever, or whippoorwills calling because they think it's night. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how wildlife reacts to it. And some people theorize that wildlife reacts more like an oncoming storm, a fast-moving storm where the sky goes dark and all. So it's just a cool phenomenon to watch if you're willing to travel southeast Missouri, and then also look at, how nature responds to it as well.
Now, is this going to the totality area? Does that cut across any state parks or anything like that, or are any of them having special programs or viewing areas or things like that?
Yeah, sure. So it does cut through some state parks, and the state parks are run by the Department of Natural Resources, and they have on their site they have an excellent map that shows the path of totality through their park and through Missouri in general. And it also is going and cover a number of conservation areas as well. And we do have a news release on our site, if you look into the news release section, that details and lists all the conservation areas that the shadow of the moon is going to cross. So as far as cities go, the big cities are Cape Girardeau and Poplar Bluff are going to be almost right on the center line. So they're going to get lots of totality. The maximum totality that you can find in Missouri is just over 4 minutes. And Doniphan is another small town down there that is right on the center line. So as far as closest towns to where we are, St. Genevieve and Farmington will both be in the totality band. They just won't be getting as much. They may be getting around 2 minutes or so, give or take. but if folks are just willing even to go to St. Genevieve or Farmington, they will be able to see a shorter version of the totality.
Okay.
So it's really not that far away.
Yeah.
If folks want to go access it, a lot of people go to those places for a day trip. So,
sure.
It's really pretty accessible.
All right. Sounds good. Ought to be interesting. Anything else?
Well, here again, if you our website, mdc.mo.gov, we've got all the events. We've got all kinds of information, all the details of turkey season and limits and methods and everything are there. Got lots of cool information on fishing and hunting and mushroom hunting. That's another thing that's literally popping up right now. So folks are wanting to get out and find those morels. So that's another cool thing. We've got information about that and programs on that. So a lot of neat stuff going on.
All right, sounds great. Dan, thanks so much for the visit this morning. Appreciate your time as always. It's Dan Zarlinga with Missouri Department of Conservation, and look forward to your visits all the time, and have a good one.
All right, you guys too. Thanks.
All right, and appreciate Dan being with us. And let me hit that button, and we'll get out of that and see if we can get back up here. I need to take care of a little business first. We've got Keisha Philpott's going to be back in with me, so we'll take care of this, and we'll be right back.
Have you ever witnessed a first aid emergency and didn't know what to do? At Show Me CPR and Personal Safety, we can help. We're a family-owned business that offers affordable, accessible, and convenient life-saving classes to businesses and families. It's our goal to help you feel comfortable and confident in any CPR or first aid emergency. Whether you need a CPR or first aid class for work or school, let Show Me CPR be at the heart of your training. Find us online or stop by our Sullivan location today.
All right, Keisha Philpott back in with me. Let me lean back and see how warm it is out there. It's going to be a pretty nice day today.
Yeah.
46 right now. Looking for highs, I think, in the 60s, somewhere along in that vicinity. 66, mid-60s. Yeah, I tell you what, I had a baseball game down at Potosi on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And I
that was
debated.
Cold.
I debated when I left early that morning. It was a little warmer, actually. It was, early in the day. The high came right after midnight, and I debated, do I need to grab some extra clothes? And I'm like, no, it would be all right. I get down there to Potosi, and, it was cloudy, and there was a 25, 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing right in your face. I was frozen solid by the time that thing. I was sitting there shivering. I was scrunched up like this. My neck hurt all night. The rest of the night, it was a mess, I tell you. But hey, they got a win. Got a nice win last night as well.
That's good.
Happy birthday today! I want to mention Ron Pilkington is turning the big 6-0 today. I guess he probably went to school with Sam. Janet Counts West has a birthday today. Chet Dawson, I believe that's Sam's nephew, Jared's son, and he's 8 today. Brian Payne is 19. Rick Pullman, Kristen, I believe it's Frigo, and Amy Garner, and Dr. Jim Cuneo, all having birthdays today. Chris and Ginger Blanton celebrating their 26th wedding anniversary. Well, somebody in New Jersey got really rich the other night on the Mega Millions. This individual ticket won the Mega Millions. $1.13 billion was the estimated jackpot. That number will probably change once they get all the sales totals in from all the states. Everything is all estimated.
Yeah.
But nobody won Powerball last night.
Oh.
So if you go
there's still hope.
Another drawing without a winner on Saturday would probably put Powerball over $1 billion.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be $935 million Saturday night, and that's a measly $449.7 million cash value. I probably would have a little struggle getting by with that, but I would like to give it a try. So anyway, that's coming up this weekend, and of course, if you don't mind winning that chump change of $20 million, you could buy a ticket for Mega Millions. But most people say I wait till it gets up over $100 million before I start buying stuff. So anyway, all right. Well, we're almost out of time. About 4 minutes till. A few birthdays today. We'll catch up with some birthdays. For those beer lovers out there, this is a big day. Frederick Pabst, of course, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. He was born on this day in 1864. He went into partnership with his father-in-law, who already had a little brewery up in Milwaukee. And then he worked his way up, became president in 1873. took over control of the company. It was changed to the Pabst Brewing Company and trademarked the Blue Ribbon label in 1900. Now, he didn't actually win a blue ribbon for his beer. He had it at some event, and he got a blue ribbon thing and just kind of draped it over a bottle of the beer, and just to kind of bring attention to it.
Yeah.
And everybody started calling it the Blue Ribbon beer. And so he's like, oh, that works pretty good. He liked that. And so, he went and patented it and got a trademark on it in 1900, and the rest is history. Also today, more locally, is the birthday of August Anheuser-Busch Jr., otherwise known as Gussie Busch. Born 1899. His father was president of the company. His grandfather, Adolphus Busch, was the founder of the company. Gussie was company chairman from 46 to 75. Of course, bought the Cardinals in 1953 and owned them until he passed on. He's in the Cardinals Hall of Fame. But Gussie Busch synonymous with St. Louis. Marlon Perkins. You ever heard of Marlon? This is probably it's probably before your time. Have you ever heard of Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay, he was the host.
Okay.
He was also the director of the St. Louis Zoo.
Yeah.
Was born in St. Louis, went on to work at a couple of other zoos, came back as the director of St. Louis Zoo, did the Wild Kingdom from 63 to 85. Then he retired as zoo director, I think, in the early 70s, health problems, but he was director emeritus of the zoo until he died. For those of you who remember back in the day, Edmund Muskie was born in 1914, was the 58th U.S. Secretary of State under Carter. He was a senator from Maine back in the late 50s to the 80s. He was governor of Maine before he was a senator. He was a Democratic Party nominee for vice president in the 1968 presidential election, where Nixon just kind of, just beat everybody's brains out there. Let's see who else we have here. Trying to find something of interest people might know.
Did I see it's Reba McEntire's birthday
Yeah, she's
today?
over here on the other page. You got Conchata Ferrell, the actress, was played Berta in 2.5 Men, was also in L.A. Law. Ken Howard, I remember him from The White Shadow. He was born in this state in 1944, has passed on. Actress Diane Wiest is 76. I was amazed. I got to look at the list of stuff she was in. She's been in some big movies.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire is 69 today. Salt is 58, the rapper of Salt and Pepper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's 58 today. Actress Tracy Needham is 57. She was on JAG the first season, was Meg Austin. Harm's partner for the first season, then she moved on. Vince Vaughn is 54 today, and actress Julia Stiles is 43. That's some birthdays there folks might know. We're out of time. It's going to be for sale showtime coming up. It's about 9 o'clock. KTUI 1560 AM Sullivan. You can get us on the TuneIn app, also on YouTube for the morning show. It's 9 o'clock, and here's the news from USA.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. A controversial new Texas immigration law will be kept on hold. According to a ruling of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, the 3-judge panel in New Orleans ruled 2-1, denying Texas's request to suspend a lower court ruling which found the Lone Star State's SB 4 unconstitutional. The law would allow Texas state and local officers to arrest people they suspect to be in the country illegally. The Biden administration has sued, claiming the state of Texas has no authority to enforce federal immigration law. Transportation Chief Pete Buttigieg discussing priorities now that recovery is beginning in the wake of the bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Reopen the port, deal with the supply chain implications until the port does reopen, rebuild the bridge, and deal with the surface transportation implications until the bridge is rebuilt.
6 people are presumed dead after a cargo ship hit a pillar of the bridge early Tuesday morning. The NTSB says the cargo ship that hit the bridge was carrying toxic chemical materials. A longtime U.S. Senator from Connecticut has died.
Longtime former Connecticut Senator, Democrat Joe Lieberman, has died at the age of 82. His family says he passed away as the result of a fall. Lieberman, the first Jewish American nominated to a major party's presidential ticket as Al Gore's running mate back in the year 2000.
There are some people who might actually call Al's selection of me an act of chutzpah, to be honored to be a major party candidate for the vice presidency.
USA's Laura Winters, a West Point cadet, dead
In Florida, now police investigations underway. Officers say 21-year-old Haven Morris of California was reported missing in Fort Lauderdale Saturday night. Divers found his body in a local waterway 2 days later. Initially, police said it appeared to be an accidental drowning, but an investigation continues. This is USA News.
Progressive asks, what do a slow Friday night, bored teenage boys,
I'm bored,
a pack of fireworks,
this is gonna be awesome,
and a teetering branch suspended over your car have in common?
Look out!
They can quickly wreak havoc on your slow Friday night.
Uh-oh.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Deutsch, and if you or your business owe money to the IRS, I've got great news for you. Tax laws have changed. Billions of dollars are earmarked for IRS Fresh Start programs, and if you qualify, you can literally save tens of thousands of dollars. Listen, I know what you're going through. Call me if you want to speak with a tax attorney or tax professional for free.
800-284-9275. That's 800-284-9275.
A Texas law granting police the authority to detain individuals suspected of unlawfully crossing the southern border remains suspended. The 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans has affirmed a prior ruling that deemed SB 4 unconstitutional. Texas public safety officials have said the law would only allow officers to arrest those they see crossing the Rio Grande. Inflation and price hikes continue to weigh heavily on businesses, with one discount chain also announcing a new price increase. USA's Laura Winters.
You're going to have to dig deeper when you go to Dollar Tree. It's becoming $1.50 Tree, raising its prices again. The discount store revealing in an earnings call that its price point will now start at $1.50, up from $1.25, with some items selling for $5 to $7 in a special aisle.
Donald Trump is extending a warm reception to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s entrance into the presidential race. Through a post on Truth Social, Trump labeled Kennedy as the most, quote, radical left contender in the field. Additionally, Trump said he believes RFK Jr.'s candidacy will draw votes away from President Biden. In a gesture of reconciliation in Florida, the governor and Mickey Mouse are declaring a ceasefire. Disney and a committee led by Governor Ron DeSantis have reached a settlement with the goal of resolving all litigation between them. I'm Ryan Daniels, USA News.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
From the KTUI Weather Bug Weather Center for this morning, a clear sky. It's going to be sunny today with a high of 64. Partly cloudy tonight, low 44. Friday, sunshine, high 72. Partly cloudy Friday night, low 54. Saturday, mixed clouds and sun, high 74. Cloud, sun, isolated shower and thunderstorm for Sunday, the high 78. Monday, clouds, a few showers and maybe a thunderstorm, high 78. For KTUI, I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
Thank you very much, Jim. 46 degrees at the Sullivan Bank Studios at KTUI Radio, and still a chilly 39 over at the Sullivan Regional Airport, according to what we've got right now. Before I get into the for sale show, I want to catch up on some business. SBI Insure can help you with all of your insurance needs, personal, business, and life. They can package your home along with your autos, boats, motorcycles, and an umbrella policy for additional discounts. Now, that's whether you own, you rent, you're still making payments, you have a condo, whatever the case may be as far as your home. They can do that package under an umbrella for your additional discounts. Now, Ken does represent several companies. They're all rated A and A+ by AM Best. They're priced competitively on youth drivers, education discounts, folks in the prime of life discounts, new roof discounts, paid in full discounts, and claims-free discounts. Life happens. Let SBI Insure help you with all of your insurance needs. And Ken can also work with you if you're a business owner on your property, liability, auto insurance, equipment, or workers' comp. Ken's cell phone number is 314 623-2093. That's 314-623-2093. Keeps that with him all the time. Now, if you call and he doesn't answer, he's probably with a client. Maybe he's driving or whatever, but he'll leave him a message. Ken's really good about getting back to you. That's Ken Scott at SBI Insure. All right, time now for the For Sale Show. Your chance to buy, sell, and trade your items on the radio. Are we taking, anybody going to answer the phone, or should I just skip that again? Okay, all right. Sam said he'll get the phone. So, well, if you want to call, the numbers are on the screen if you're watching us on YouTube. You can call the studio at 573-468-5101. You can also send us a text at 573-677-1001. You can email us forsale@ktui.com, either the number 4 or you can spell out FOR. I just checked the text in the email line before I went on. Didn't have anything new there, but you can do that anytime. You don't have to wait and do it during the show. Whenever you think about it, just send us a text or an email. Just type it up, your information, what it is you have to sell, maybe a little description, information about it, price if you want to put that in there, or just if you want people to call and ask, make sure you include your phone number. If you're doing a yard sale, garage sale, basement sale, whatever, this is the time of year people start doing that. We'll advertise those for you as well. Just get it to us in one of those ways. You can even go so far as to maybe drop something off here at the studios. We're at 900 Elmont Road. Drop it off during regular hours. You can mail it to us. For Sale Show, care of KTUI Radio, P.O. Box 99, Sullivan, Missouri, 63080-0099. So a lot of ways you can get us your information, and we'll get it up on the air on the For Sale Show. On the list that I have, we have, gentleman has a Black & Decker 7 1/4 inch circular saw. Now, he had a 3/8 inch Black & Decker drill along with this, was asking $25 for the both of them. Now, he sold the drill, so you probably need to call, find out how much he wants for the circular saw by itself. 636-234-6213, 636-234-6213 is the number there. Lady has a couple of Cracker Barrel wooden rockers that are like new. You can get those for $65 each, or if you want to save a little bit of money and get them both, you can get it for $120 for the two of them. And she also, I think, the number is there, 468-8756, 573-468-8756. She did have listed a combination pole saw and weed eater for sale. The weed eater has never been used. I may have got something from her that she has sold that, but maybe you can ask about it if you want to call her, 573-468-8756. A gentleman called earlier in the week, and he has a large collection of porcelain and colored glass. He also has a Yamaha 1600 Silver Edition motorcycle. Lots of options and extras. It's always been garaged, well taken care of, oil changes on a regular basis. It's got new tires. It's a one-owner bike. And for this and the glass, the porcelain, 573-259-9448, 573-259-9448. Some other items on my list, a 2004 3/4 ton Chevy extended cab pickup for sale, and that is at 314-630-9463, 314-630-9463. Get a reminder, we've got somebody answer the phone today. If you want to call, 573-468-5101 is the number to get in here on the For Sale Show. Let's see. Ron said he sold a recumbent bike, but he still has a recumbent Nordic Track and a Green Mountain Smoker, $150 for the Nordic Track and $300 for the Smoker. And that number to call is 636-485-5824, 636-485-5824. Let's see what else we have here. A Suzuki winch that'll go on like a four-wheeler, ATV, that sort of thing. Also, they have some pink camo, and I believe these are folks looking for that Flintstone cookie jar. 573-764-4435, 573-764-4435. Are you in need of a sewing machine? Well, these folks have one for sale. And to get more information about that, call 636-575-4258, 636-575-4258. Lady does some home health care. She's got eggs for sale, and she's looking for egg cartons and coffee cans. So if you have need of any of that or want to help her out with the egg cartons or coffee cans, 573-617-9109, 573-617-9109. Gentlemen have been asking about a 4K video camera, wants to buy one. It does need to be audio capable, and if you have something like that that you would like to sell, or if you know of somebody that may have that, give this gentleman a call at 573-205-0328. Let's see. We have, get this turned around, 2005 Holiday fifth wheel trailer, 29 feet long. It's got a 16-foot slide, good tires, good shape. Couple of numbers you can call on this, 636-584-5060, 636-584-5060, or 636-629-1268, 629-1268. And the last thing I have, folks have a lawnmower. It's one of the old reel type push mowers. And they also have, I think this is an old time kind of a push plow, little garden plow. Got the one big wheel and the plow on it. $20 a piece. 468-3485. 573-468-3485 is the number to call there. And that's all I have for the For Sale show today. And again, just recapping how you can get that information to us. You can text us at 573-677-1001. Email forsale@ktui.com, either the number 4 or you can spell it out FOR. You can mail it to us, For Sale Show, care of KTUI Radio, Post Office Box 99, Sullivan, Missouri. You can drop it off here during regular hours, Monday through Friday. We're located 900 Elmont Road. Several different ways you can get it to us, and we'll get it on the air here for several days on the For Sale Show. That'll take care of things today. I want to tell you about Jerry's TV Sales and Service. We'll hear from them, and then we'll get to the interview with Maggie Cimaroli, and we've got that for you right after this.
Get a washer that helps you handle your laundry all in one place. Pre-wash items right inside the washer using the built-in water faucet to help remove loose soils. Save a step by soaking and washing in one cycle. When the 30-minute pre-soak option is finished, the wash cycle starts automatically.
For mattresses, furniture, flooring, and appliances, see the folks at Jerry's TV and Home Furnishings at 375 West Springfield in Sullivan, or call 468-4300.
March is National Nutrition Month, an annual campaign by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics that promotes the importance of making informed food choices and healthy eating habits. As part of this campaign, St. Louis District Dairy Council celebrates cottage cheese for its growing popularity as a powerhouse superfood. And here to talk with us today is Maggie Cimaroli, and she is the registered dietitian and nutrition educator with St. Louis District Dairy Council. Good morning, Maggie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. So, Maggie, where does National Nutrition Month come from, and what is the theme this year?
Yes. So every single year in March, we do celebrate National Nutrition Month. And that is it's an annual campaign. It started in 1973. So it's been around for a little bit. And it's usually put on, not usually, it is put on through the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They're kind of the overseeing organization for registered dietitians and nutrition individuals. So they put on this every year, and this year's theme is Beyond the Table, and it's really talking about how your food gets to you, you know, kind of the farm to table, farm to fork aspect. So where your food comes from, kind of the production of food, how it gets to you, or, you know, whether it's at home or at school or at work, all kind of different aspects like that.
So I know each week during the month, and we're kind of getting toward the end of the month, but different topics are highlighted. So what were the weekly suggestions during the month of March?
Yes. So this year we are talking about a couple different things each week. So the first week we talked about staying nourished on a budget. And I think this is something that everybody can kind of relate to. Most individuals have a budget, and, sometimes food costs can be high. So, looking for ways that you can save on money, save on time, save on energy, but still get good, healthy, nutritious meals. So that was kind of what week one talked about, and that's things like, buying in bulk, cooking at home, using grocery lists, not purchasing just kind of extra, oh, that looks good, things that I think we all do that, or at least I do when I'm,
I do.
in the grocery store. Yes.
Yeah.
So just different tips like that, just to kind of help keep you on track. So that was week one. Week two was all about seeing a registered dietitian nutritionist. And at the Dairy Council, all of the nutrition educators are registered dietitians. And these are individuals who actually went to school, studied how food interacts with your body. These are the professional individuals that kind of know the most about food, and kind of they help you figure out where you are at in your, lifestyle journey, and hopefully can help you get to a point that you are looking to get to, and whether that's just eating healthier or having a healthy lifestyle, or maybe you have diabetes or a cardiovascular disease, something that you actually do need maybe a little more help with. So those are the individuals that can definitely help you out. So that was week two, was all about kind of finding those individuals that can help you. Week three, it's all about eating a variety of foods. And this is something that I think we talk about often. Dairy kind of is one of those 5 food groups, if you will. So you have your fruits, your vegetables, your protein foods, your grains or your carbohydrates, and then your dairy foods. And so all of these foods help to make up a really nutritious plate. There's, a lot of color in all of these different foods. You get a lot of different nutrients from each of these different foods. So definitely trying to include a lot of variety on your plate, and kind of get a little bit of everything that will be most beneficial to your body, because like I said, everything kind of has a little bit of something different that your body needs. So that was week 3, and then leading into week 4, we are in week 4 now. So eating with the environment in mind. So kind of that farm to fork or farm to table aspect does talk about the food production, kind of how food is grown or where it comes from, and that also kind of leads to a little bit about sustainability. So, trying to purchase things when they're in season, really trying to appreciate the farmers and who is actually growing your food and making your food. Different things like having more plant-based meals, but also still including those other foods, like we talked about, eating a little bit of everything, so including dairy in there, still including some of those lean meats in there, but that those plant-based foods are a little more sustainable. So again, just doing a lot of different things throughout this month that hopefully helps individuals, and hopefully people can find something that they relate to or that they're interested in, and that will help them with their journey moving forward.
So Maggie, the St. Louis Dairy Council putting the spotlight on cottage cheese this month, so why is that?
Yes, so cottage cheese, and you mentioned it in the very beginning, it's one of those foods that it's kind of labeled as a superfood or as a powerhouse food. It's something that we say this all the time at the Dairy Council. You get a lot of bang for your buck with cottage cheese. So it's full of great nutrition. It has a lot of great, has protein in it, has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. So it's really low in calories and in carbohydrates. So all of these things that I think people are really looking for right now, and you can get it all in just one food. And a little bit goes a long way also with cottage cheese. So, you can have it as a snack. You can add it to meals or add it to recipes. So we're kind of focusing on that again, thinking about what the theme is for this year and all of those topics. And we felt this food kind of really fits into kind of what the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is kind of putting forth for this year.
So can you explain how cottage cheese is versatile in the culinary world? What are some examples?
Yes, so it is. It has a lot of different, I think, good qualities or different aspects that kind of make it this great food to kind of keep on hand or to keep in your mind. So it's very mild in flavor. I think that is something that makes it so great. So it kind of takes on the flavor of whatever you're mixing it with. I know some people eat it with fruit, and it's kind of more of a sweeter, snack or breakfast or something like that. So peaches and cottage cheese, for example. I know other people that like to make it more of a savory type of dish, add it with vegetables, and it's kind of more of like a veggie dip at that point. So, you can kind of do all these different things with it, and you get all the great things from it, but it doesn't necessarily have a strong flavor that deters you from some of these different foods. So very mild in flavor, very creamy. It also can be it can replace a lot of different foods. So Greek yogurt or ricotta cheese, or some different things that maybe you currently use in dishes. You can sub it out with cottage cheese, and hopefully kind of create a new dish that you still enjoy.
So, what kind of nutrition does cottage cheese provide?
Yes, so it is packed full of nutrition. I think right now a lot of people are very interested in protein. I'm not sure if you've kind of heard that or heard people talking about that, but that's something we talk about often, I think, especially when we talk about dairy foods. We talk about how it has a lot of protein in it. And that is the nutrient that it's going to keep you full. It's going to give you energy. And then if you are somebody who likes to exercise or work out, it also is great for recovery. So it helps your muscles recover faster, helps you build those muscles. So it does all of these great things. And cottage cheese is one of those dairy foods that is packed full of protein. So it's higher in protein than some other dairy foods are. And then it also, because it's made with milk, it has all the great nutrients that milk has in it. So it still has the calcium, the vitamins and minerals, potassium, phosphorus. So again, all of these things that we talk about often still come in cottage cheese, and that's all just in a small portion also. So I think sometimes, labels and, marketing can kind of skew how some people see things. It has, all of this protein in it, but you have to eat 2 cups of it to get all this protein. So with cottage cheese, it's actually only a half of a cup as a serving, which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. And so you still get, so it's 12 grams of protein for a half a cup. So again, it's great for a snack, or it's great for maybe breakfast. If you're not a big breakfast eater, just having something small like this will kind of help kickstart your day. So again, you get kind of going back to that, you get a lot of bang for your buck, just a very small amount, and you get all these great things from it.
So, Maggie, I think I read the other day where most people have, at some point a couple weeks ago, most people had given up on their New Year's resolutions and stuff. But how does dairy food fit into the health and wellness trends that are out there?
Yes. So this is something that I think it happens often. So, a lot of people do kind of fall off their health trends. But dairy, especially with cottage cheese, we talked about all these great things that it has. And our goal is not that it's eating healthy and eating good, nutritious food. It shouldn't be it shouldn't just be like a quick fix or something that you just do for a short amount of time. It's something that you should kind of carry through your life. And so hopefully with dairy foods, you're finding these foods that have all these great nutrients, keep you full, keep you energized. And this is something that you can do all year long. It's not something that maybe you don't really like broccoli, but your New Year's resolution is, I'm going to eat more green vegetables this year. With dairy, it's a little different. There's all kinds of different dairy foods. Hopefully you can find something that you like, and you can have it at all different times during the day. So it's a lifestyle change. It's something that you can have year round, day after day. And there's a lot of variety, so hopefully you don't get tired of it.
And I happen to like broccoli, but if you don't, you can smother it in cheese, can't you?
You can. That's the great thing about dairy as well. I also love broccoli, but so that's a great example. Add some dairy to it, and dairy has a lot of flavor and it adds a lot of nutrients too. So kind of get double for that one.
So are there any, what's the word now, trending? Are there any trending recipes where cottage cheese is the main ingredients?
Yes, there's a lot of different things trending with cottage cheese. I know last year and the past couple months, we've talked about some of these before. So we've talked about cottage cheese ice cream. I think we talked about that a little bit last year. So that's basically you're blending up cottage cheese. You can add fruit to it, or maybe you like more of a chocolate or a sweet, some kind of ice cream flavor. So you blend all these ingredients and freeze it, and it's almost like a frozen yogurt, but it's a frozen cottage cheese. So that is kind of one of the things that has been trending with cottage cheese. You can also bake with it. We talked about it has that mild flavor, so baking with it is a great option.
Like lasagna?
You can do lasagna, yes. So you can use it in lasagna. So instead of ricotta cheese, you can use cottage cheese. Again, going to add all that extra protein. So lasagna, pancakes. We actually have a great pancake recipe for cottage cheese. It makes your batter really, really fluffy. So that's definitely something to try out if you do like making pancakes or like making breakfast in the morning. And then you can always just use it as is. So again, use it as a topping. So maybe you like chicken or some kind of, meat that you're cooking. You can use it as either like a marinade, or you can even put it on top for like a dipping sauce if you want. You can also add it to smoothies or add it to your breakfast, or again, just eat it as a snack. So there are all kinds of different ways you can have it, and that's kind of what's so great about it. You mentioned it being very versatile, so it's you can do a lot with it, and I think that's why it's kind of on the rise right now.
So let's talk about this month's recipe, I guess.
Yes.
Cottage cheese buffalo chicken dip.
Yes.
Sounds a little spicy.
It can be spicy if you want it to be spicy. I think that, so this is kind of goes into, what we were just talking about, all the different things you can do with it. Do you like buffalo chicken dip?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I like it too.
Yeah.
I usually make mine with cream cheese. That's usually kind of what I use in mine. So again, this is a great example of you can switch out that cream cheese and use cottage cheese instead. But so basically, it's not very many ingredients. It's cottage cheese, hot sauce, shredded chicken, cheddar cheese, and then your spices and seasonings. So garlic, if you like onions, if you like, maybe you want to add some cheese on top, or if you like blue cheese. I know some people like to put blue cheese with kind of their buffalo chicken dip or hot sauce kind of foods. So it's, 5 or 6 ingredients. You blend it all together so that it's smooth. The cottage cheese and all the spices and seasonings, add your shredded chicken. Then you can actually put it in the oven and heat it up. So then you have a warm buffalo chicken dip, or you can serve it cold if you like it cold as well. But again, just kind of a different way to enjoy something that you already like. And I think that's the key too, is finding things you already like and then just making small changes with it. But this recipe is definitely very good. We have had it in the office, so I would definitely say check it out if you like buffalo chicken dip, and you can make it as spicy or as not spicy as you want. Just tailor the hot sauce to your
I found a couple things I like, garlic powder and green onions. So
well, those are good. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, Maggie, where can people go to find more information about National Nutrition Month, cottage cheese, and St. Louis District Dairy Council?
Yes, so all kinds of resources. You can actually go to eatright.org, which is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics webpage, and that will give you all the information about National Nutrition Month. It'll talk about the theme, kind of some different things you can do throughout the month to focus on, or even later past the month if you like some of the tips and tricks that they give. So definitely check that out. You can go to our website, which is stldairycouncil.org, and that has everything that we talked about today on there. Recipes are on there, our programming, so all kinds of good stuff is on our website as well. And then our social media accounts, Facebook and Instagram, so at STL Dairy Council. And again, recipes are on there. We post new recipes every week. So if you're a recipe kind of person, definitely check out our social media. And then we also post about what we're doing out and about. So so this month also it was all about National School Breakfast Week was also this month. So we have some fun pictures up there of how schools are celebrating. So again, check out our social media, check out our website, and hopefully you find something you enjoy.
All right, Maggie, always fun to talk to you, and we'll talk to you again next month then.
Yes, you will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's Maggie Cimaroli with the interview with Sam Scott, pre-recorded. Maggie wasn't available for this week, so recorded it ahead of time. Appreciate her doing that. Excuse me. We're looking for a high day about 64. It's 47 degrees right now at the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI, up to 41 at the Sullivan Regional Airport. Happy birthday today to Ron Pilkington, Janet West, Chet Dawson, Jim Cuneo, Dr. Jim Cuneo, Amy Garner, Kristen Frago, and Rick Pullman, also Brian Payne. And happy anniversary to Chris and Ginger Blanton. And that'll wrap it up for us today. Appreciate you listening in and spending a little time with us today, allowing us to come into your home via the online with YouTube or on the radio, whatever the case may be. Back with you again tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. Until then, do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 6. Time now to join Mike Gallagher.
Why?
And I think this is part of the problem right now. The number of Americans getting their news from TikTok quadrupled in the past 3 years. It really kind of terrifies me for what is to come for this country.
Subscribe to The Right View on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.